Police or zombie problems? Your tortoise won't stop breakdancing?
Try blue tape.
The miracle of our age. Yay! Hey, we love that umbrella guy. All right. Thank you.
I'm calling from Los Angeles, and I'm having a little problem under the name ThATuMBRELLAgUY. I sent him my phone number at least 20 times in the chat and told him to call me. He ignored me. I'm a man. I filed the report. If you guys could take a look at it and give me a call back, I would love to hear what you guys can do to help us. We really need to kind of stop this guy at least until Monday. I told him to call me. I'm a man.
You know what? I talk to your mayor.
Who's the epic villain you missed the most? It's the umbrella guy listening to them crying as they pull the plug because their case is dying. It's falling apart, listen to them scream. Gotta laugh if they're stupid on my next live stream. And down he goes, another lawyer falls. Like reverse Pokemon, you gotta wreck them all. They just got nuked, their case turned to ash. And how they blame the plaintiff and beg the court for cash. And all the excuses, how is any of this real? Beg and sanction them, your honor, we cannot pay our bills. And for all those reasons and what you said about jail, I'm gonna change my arguments and blame Mr. Hales. Picture a lawyer so corrupt he lies about proof, about messages, about his own words. He even frames his lawsuits as other people's filings. Why? Because accountability isn't a word in their vocabulary. Who's the epic villain? Broadcasting coast to coast. Who's the epic villain you missed the most? It's that young umbrella guy.
What's up, folks? How's it going today? Man, what a day. What a day indeed. How's it going, Miss Fox?
That's pretty good. I'm on the wrong side of the stream, though. This is your channel. I need to be on the other side.
Yeah, I know.
Stop that!
Ew, I swear. Making a mess.
I had just a special shout out to my neighbor, my good friend, who just bailed me out of a horrible situation and got rid of a dead deer in front of my mailbox for me tonight. Way to go, neighbor. Way to go. It was really gross, too. It started to stink. Somebody hit a deer and it collapsed in front of my mailbox. I had to close all my windows today. I was gagging. I was like, oh, God, no, this is going to be so bad. So I called on my neighbor who's got like a tractor, and I was like, please pull this thing out of here. And he did.
It's so
nice
awful,
to have
man.
neighbors.
It's so awful for a poor deer, too, man. You know?
Tell me about it.
I'm telling you.
Well, the worst part is, you know, when in Illinois, you would call the state and they'd come pick it up. You know, they come collect it. Out here, I don't know what it is about New York State. you can call animal control or whatever all day long, and they're just like, yeah, so like something will drag it off the road. They don't care.
It's lovely. Yeah, well,
A
something to
deer
do
will
with it.
rot to its carcass. Like there will be bones on the side of the state road. They will not come and get it. And it's just gross. And so if you're anywhere near it, you're going to be in, for weeks, it's going to stink like death. And it's just awful that they don't come and take care of it. I pay enough taxes.
Yeah, for real. I don't know, man. Out in the country, we don't have an animal control or anything. It's a control your own animal more like.
Yeah, I think
So,
maybe that's what it is because I'm out here in the sticks. I think they're
yeah.
just like some good old boy will drag it away for you,
Oh, it's so gross, Oh,
which I guess is what happened. I mean, if you want something done around here, you have to do it yourself. You have to call on your neighbor with the tractor to, take care of it. My daughter, God love her. When the thing first got hit and I saw it there and I told her about it, my husband, he's with his family. He's not here. So he would have taken care of it. She goes, oh, well, I'll just grab a tarp and I'll throw it in my car and drive it off. I'll take it somewhere and dump it. I'm like, you're going to what?
oh God, that
You're
would be
gonna
so gross.
and she was like,
stink.
yeah, I'll do it. I'm like, but you're gonna get like blood in your car. And she's like,
It's
no,
gonna
I'll get a
smell
tarp.
bad. It's gonna smell very bad.
Well, it hadn't started to stink at that point.
Or
It was a couple
still, you'll
days
never
ago.
be cleaned all the way.
Well, that's what
It'll,
I thought. I was like, no, if Dad's
oh,
truck were here, yes, like I would totally say go for it because he's got a truck bed. You just
yeah,
throw it in the back and go dump it.
yep.
But in your sedan, no,
Nope.
no, 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 no,
Nope.
no.
Yeah.
But I thought it was nice of her to offer, and she was serious too. She's like, "Yeah, I'll just throw it in the car." I'm like, "No."
Like I was telling you, I saw a wreck one time out a neighbor from my grandfather. They had a cow get loose, and it was a solid black cow, except for this one white spot on it. And one night, I heard this just horrible noise. I was like, "What in the world?" And this cow had gotten loose. And in the middle of the night, really dark night, this car had been driving down the road, and they thought that white spot on that cow, because that cow got loose going out the road, they thought it was a paper bag or something. Didn't even register like what it was. So they hit it with one of those little economy vehicles, and it wadded that thing up like a piece of gum. And
Man.
that freaking cow, I mean, if it got injured, it was minor because it didn't do much of anything to it. That cow just looked angry and confused.
Oh God.
Yeah, it wadded that car up. I mean, I was like, oh my God. I was surprised it didn't hurt anybody. It hurt the car, and I think the car's feelings, because it didn't move the cow at all. But oh man.
It's hard to believe you could hit a cow and do no damage to the cow.
Yeah, those cows, man. They shrug off a lot. Things are almost all muscle. Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, today has been a really crazy day. This afternoon I had some visitors at my door. This afternoon I went out. I had to do some homeschool stuff. The little one, she starts her homeschool this year, so I needed a copy of her birth certificate, a few documents and stuff. So I've been doing all this, and the kids, they weren't home. So after I get home, and I'm not expecting anything, and I heard a knock at the door, which is always weird because I have a Ring doorbell, but some people, for some reason, they knock. They don't push the button on that. And it's usually,
Right.
weirdly enough, it's usually official. Usually everybody, like mailmen, everyone will push the button. But so I was like, what is that? At first, it didn't even register because, I was in another part of the house. So I thought, what the heck? I looked out on on the cameras in the house, and I saw a white car outside. I thought that's weird. You know, it's not an official car or anything. You know, well, what is this? You know, is this somebody trying to sell something? Weirdly, I haven't had that happen in a long time, but I had that happen recently. You know, somebody trying to go around selling. I can't remember what that was. So anyway, I tell them to hold on for a minute. I get upstairs and they yell through the door, you know, nicely. Of course, they were nice. They were polite enough, but they yelled through the door that they're with DCF. And I
Oh my
thought,
God, this makes me so mad.
oh, yeah. I was very irritated by this whole situation. Now, I'm careful in what I show because I don't want to, you know, dox these people that are just doing their jobs. But, you know, I always try to show as much proof of this as I can. You know, and
Well,
they
this
leave
is
you
not the
things like,
first time you've been through this.
no. But this, yeah, well, it's interesting. You know, it depending on what these people falsely claim, they depends on what they're going to ask your kids. And they're going to ask my kids, like my kids weren't home at the time. And of course at one, well, anyway, let me start at the beginning. I guess that's the best way to go. So I answered the door, two ladies there, and one of them I've actually seen before because I've dealt with. The last time we had a false call. As a matter of fact, she wasn't the major person. You know, the whatever they call. I don't know what the name is for DCF, for the person who leads an investigation. You know, and the minor person. Last time this person came out, they had a sheriff with them, you know, because yeah, depending on the type of allegations someone calls in. Yeah, that's not really fun. But this time they still had some pretty awful allegations too. So but the lady there, I was like, oh, well, that's weird. I recognized her at first, but the lady introduced herself. She told me that she gave me my client's rights handbooks, you know, which is always fun, you know, because it's like, well,
client.
that's
I like
great.
how they call you a client.
Yeah, like I volunteered.
Like you want to
for the
be
service.
there. Like like you volunteered for. Like you called them.
Yeah, and they asked about.
It should say victims' rights is what it should say, not clients' rights. What's
so bizarre? Because you know, immediately it's become this. This drill of depending on what the allegation is whether or not I'll need to call a lawyer, you know, and have them screening it first. Now today, since I'm dealing with the same people before, again, you're going to have to talk to them. You know, DCF, you're definitely going to have to talk to them, and you better be polite to them. You know, first of all, these people are. You know, it's not their fault some jackass decides to call in some fake call, you know. But on top of it, like, it's so bizarre. It's so bizarre to have to deal with. So, you know, they of course, the major thing DCS wants to do is to lay eyes on and talk to your kid, you know, right off the bat. And my kids aren't here. You know, they were out with their grandma while I went and. Actually, they're not here tonight, too, because when I'm talking about this, I don't really want them to know hearing me in case I go into a rant about this tonight. I don't want them to really hear that, you know. But yeah, somebody had called in a fake abuse claim, which is one of the worst things, you know, depending on. Now, this was a fake physical abuse claim. And I'm not sure if it dealt with two people or one. They had brought up my wife. Now, here's the thing. I'll make this clear. Since apparently some jackasses thought that would work, she doesn't live here. You know, she, with all the stuff that went on, she doesn't. Like, you may get that impression because the little one runs around and, you know, she talks about like, her getting off work or her room or this and that, but she doesn't actually live here. You know, that's it's a byproduct of everything that has gone on. So, and she's in she's in a sober living place right now, or not sober living, but she's in a rehab. She's been there for 2 weeks, I think now. So that's the dumbest call that you could make, calling in and saying that there's abuse going on currently, and it involves a person that hasn't been here for 2 weeks and doesn't actually reside at the residence either, you know. But yeah, somebody called that in, and God, you've got to go through a million freaking questions on that, and that's they'll get to sit down with the kids. They'll get to ask them some questions that are you would not let a stranger ask. And typically, the weird thing is, if you've never dealt with an organization like that, with the police, if they come to your door, you know, without a warrant, you tell them to F off. You know, who cares? Go away. These people, yeah, you're gonna deal with them. You're gonna have to deal with them, and they're gonna have to come with a warrant. They can make your life a living hell if you do not handle it correctly. So, they're gonna get to sit down with the kids, and they're gonna at least get to answer them some questions that are again invasive, and
God,
depending on
infuriate me.
Oh, dude, the last time some asshole pulled this shit, they made some like horrendous claim, and the kids got asked again. You know, they asked it as age appropriate as you can, but they asked them questions that a child should not have to at the age like my oldest was at. They shouldn't be asked, because it involves questions that, you know, it's like, oh, they're very delicate in nature, let's just say. And that was very infuriating. And I'm sure the questions that they'll get asked this time will probably be very infuriating too. We just haven't gone to the level of that yet. But yeah, somebody called in a fake CPS. And I love, you know, what I really love about that is the fact that these weirdos out here, they will not do anything for a child that people have claimed repeatedly have some kind of issue, that there are major red flags for. They just turn a fucking blind eye to that stuff. But man, if they can harass some kids, boy, they definitely will do it. They definitely will. What
This is
nasty
so
people.
upsetting.
That's gross,
And you know what
people.
really bothers me? False calls and false reports always bother me. But what's particularly grating in this case is how many times have we heard that Lynette Preston has suffered false child services calls? And which, by the way, on this program and on my show, we've told everyone, don't call anybody, don't do that, don't make any of these calls. That's for people who are in her life, who see things to go and, you know, to do. It's not for people to do on the internet. We've said that over and over again. And it doesn't help, because they have this idea that this is some kind of YouTube drama, right? It doesn't help. But they have complained about this from day one, that somehow that she's, and we don't know how many calls that she's had. She never shows any proof of any of this, so we don't know. But they harp on it constantly about how wrong it is that people would call
They say
CPS.
32 calls now. Again, they don't show any. Like I said, I show it as much as I can. I don't want to, like, where I have my finger in that one picture. It's because let's see. We have my finger over that handbook there. It's because you can see there's writing under it. It's got the freaking lady that came's name on it, her number. You know, I don't want to.
Yeah, nobody wants to dox anybody.
Yeah, I don't want to feed her. You know, because first of all, it's not her fault some asshole calls this in, but also on the other side, it just makes things worse too if that were to happen as well. So,
well, right, of course, but they're out there. It's a nightly, drumbeat of, oh, this is so terrible what's being done to Lynette Preston, and CPS is being called on her falsely, et cetera, on and on and on.
Oh yeah,
but one of these people is most likely to blame for this.
Oh, yeah.
So what are we doing? And I'm so tired of the gaslighting that's going on over there. The gaslighting with calling us doxers when I've never doxed anybody. And they've doxed me. And they've doxed you. And they're accusing us of doing the CPS stuff. And it's like, I've never done that to anyone. And yet here it's happening to you. Again, the chat says, could it have been lips? Sure, it could have been. Perhaps.
I will not speculate on that.
But we don't know.
Here's the problem with it.
They won't tell you.
I know that it's there are just certain things with it that tell me where it comes from. You know what I mean? It can't be anybody in my real life because honestly, I don't keep a lot of people in my real life anyway. You know, I keep family and things like that. So it's not that anyway, but it's also the type of report is somebody that it has to be offline, you know, because it's people that they don't know shit about what they're calling in. It's obviously it'd be a fake call anyway, but it's so fake because it's so removed. You know, like I said, it's not even grounded in enough to make it sound real. You know, but it's still, I mean, they're playing, you know, it's playing with not just inconveniencing and trying to cause stress. It's, you know, it's playing with little kids freaking, with their lives, and they love to do that. They seem to love to do that. All these assholes love to do that kind of stuff, man. They do.
It's terrible.
I haven't read that book, by the way. Maybe I'll go through that book and put it in there too. You know, I've never gone through it. It's weird. I see problems in a lot of the way some of the stories come up for these people and their encounters. You know, because I've had my own false encounters enough that I know the drill by now. I know it very well. I know if these jackasses are not doing their jobs, if they're faking shit, you know, and it's amazing because over the last few days, you've had like Lynette Preston on the anybody who would lie and do this is a monster. And yet here we are. You know,
and yet here we are.
Yep. Weirdos, man. Oh, what crazy people. These pieces of shit, man, always. But I was like, well, what a weird day. I go out to do my own thing, and they try to disrupt. It's funny because all this always backfires on them. You know, it always backfires spectacularly on them because it makes them look like a bunch of jackasses. But the one thing with CPS is they don't tell you who does these things. You know, they get away with it. They hide under the shield of anonymous reports, because if they make some kind of anonymous report with CPS, you could theoretically expose who they are if you wanted to go through a court system and you got a judge on the right day. They might actually do it, but good luck with that. You know, it's just crazy. Like I said, the girls, man, that's so crazy to target those two. You know,
it's absurd. It's absurd. The chat wants to know how you can be so calm about it. I think I know the answer to this, but yeah, I was going to say, this is not his first rodeo, and they pretty much know him. And they know that YouTube comes with a lot of this garbage. Yeah. And so they've been through this before.
Yep. It's I mean the first couple of times I dealt with it, I've gotten to the point like it doesn't even I don't give it a lot of emotion, period. You know, I know how the whole thing will go. I know exactly how all that. The thing is, tomorrow after we end up ending all of this, though, you know, we'll end up with the kids getting talked to sometime within either tomorrow, probably tomorrow. You know, usually it's if they're not available right then, it's the day after. You know, what is wonderfully inconvenient and it would have irritated me if they would have pressed the issue about it was, you know, they want to lay eyes on, you know, that day. Some of my kids weren't here and they wanted to know if they could go to my mom's house and see the girls. And I was like, hell no, my mom's elderly, man. You know, that might, God knows how she would respond to something like that. You may give her a freaking heart attack or something.
Yeah, right.
You know, okay. But So tomorrow I'll end up taking them somewhere, I guess, to get it off of their mind, because it doesn't stress me anymore, because I know the outcome. I know there's, I it's not just the false accusation. I know how that will go. I've dealt with this particular agency. I've dealt with these particular people, and actually having the same person they've dealt
Thank
with
God.
before. Yeah.
Thank
Yeah.
God, because with the rate of turnover at DCF, you're lucky you get the same person who remembers and knows, because there is so much turnover that it can sometimes be really difficult.
It's just nuts, though, man.
It
You
is.
have
Your
to
kid
ask
should
them.
not have to deal with this. It's absolutely outrageous that anyone did this.
Yep. So I have to take them somewhere tomorrow, and interrupt their days to like get them, take the little one to a candy place or something, take the other, for whatever. It's basically like, hey, let's, at least it happens early in the morning typically, so you can get it over with. It wouldn't have if the kids would have been here this afternoon. Like I said, I was like, what the fuck? What's crazy is I thought that at first when I saw a random vehicle in my driveway. I thought, DCF again, really?
Oh,
I thought,
no.
no, surely not. It's some people marketing something, or something bizarre. But no, it was DCF. It definitely was. They at least didn't come with a sheriff's deputy. Last time they came that was a little stressful. Like I said, they had an armed escort, that a sheriff, like on my freaking front porch,
Oh,
and they
it's
wanted to talk.
despicable.
Yeah, and they want to talk to the kids and ask them. They want to ask them some crazy, nasty stuff. Again, it doesn't help them to when they called in their complaint. They didn't time it well, and this is yet another person I'll be able to put on paper. Look, this is a false complaint. You can see it. I mean, again, it's kind of hard for somebody to be involved that not only isn't here, but is has been away for a couple of weeks. Hard for them to to be doing anything when they call in an emergency call and they're not around. They're not available because, they're in a facility off somewhere without contact with the world. Although, I mean, again, that's stressful to them too, because they'll try to make contact with them too.
Oh,
And
no.
yeah, they'll try. But the facility probably won't let it happen right
Oh,
now.
God. I
But it'll
hope
be something,
not.
well, it'll be something I'll have to bring up
That's the last
them to the
thing she
facility.
needs.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, this is crazy. So, as part of all of this stuff, yesterday, yesterday before we did the video, I left, for a few minutes, and most people figure it's probably a kid raid or something. I actually got a call yesterday that, as part of all of this, she had to have a blood transfusion because of
Oh.
anemia. Yeah. So we're already dealing with some kind of issue there, and
Oh,
it's
my
like,
Lord.
yeah.
I know. You've had quite the week.
Well, I mean, that's I'm just like, when people are trying to get their shit in order, other people trying to cause them problems. Again, that's what these people do, though. They aim it at the most vulnerable populations they can. They aim it at people that they think they might be able to hurt you with. These people don't even take aim at me anymore. It's like the conversations we've had, with when these people, when they try to take aim or they try to, bully or bother somebody, they don't even aim at me anymore. They aim at people around me, my kids usually. And that's sad. It's sad because my oldest kid is getting old enough to, she'll remember that. She also remember what kind of pieces of shit are online. That's one reason I'm glad that we have so many decent people. If they pop up or something, they see a lot of decent people, because otherwise their impression of the world will get skewed by these weirdos.
For sure.
But at least they didn't come with cops today.
Yeah, really. I'm a little glad they weren't home also, because the shock of that, at least you can talk to them before you have to meet with them instead
Yeah,
of just
well,
getting surprised at the door, which I really hate.
the problem is that sucks too. Like you'll hear the little one she refers to, like a certain room in the house is mom's room,
Mhm.
and she'll say, mom, huh? She's talking about getting off from work or making contact or whatever, but she doesn't process all of the events that have gone on, I guess, with the last year and a half and
Of
drinking and
course
all of
not.
that.
She's
I
too
mean, she's too
little.
little. Yeah, but she'll get asked questions that'll just confuse her more,
Mhm.
and that's sad. That's oh god, I hate people some days. No, I mean, I also believe, and I'll make this clear too. Why don't I sound angry? Because I believe in getting even. So if I find out who did this, and I might, if I do, woe be it unto you. Because like I said, I told these people I would dedicate time. I would dedicate months. You've got my undivided attention. You've got my undivided attention to dig into every aspect of your life, everything. If you want to play that way, okay. All right. You brought in fucking weirdos and degenerates. You brought in fucking people like, again, felons. You brought in some of the scummiest human beings you could find. And that wasn't enough for you. You have to go farther. So that's okay. I said everybody. See, I never understood this approach because everybody has someone they care about, and why put people like that in the crosshairs? But every scumbag I've ever dealt with does the same thing. They always put people in their crosshairs because that's their MO. Most of these people, they do it for a living. Weirdos, man.
Total weirdos.
Ugh. Man, I appreciate it. I wanted to vent about it too. Like I said, I try to let people know what goes on, and I would show you more proof. Again, I hope people understand that. I've run into that before, too. People are like, show more. No, fuck that. I'm not doxing a DCS worker. It's
Well,
not going to help me.
well, right. And also, the chat, I saw people in the chat asking, did they have a warrant and blah, blah, blah.
They don't.
Listen, they don't.
They don't need
I
it.
mean, they should have one, but they don't need it to come and talk to you. And if you deny them access to talk to the kids, unfortunately, they will sometimes hold it against you and things get real bad.
They were right.
Now, I would suggest, I always wanted, but Tug's got a relationship with these people, so it's a little different.
I've got a lawyer. I do have a lawyer.
You get a lawyer.
And
You get a lawyer.
I've done
You
this
have your
dance
lawyer.
before.
You
Yeah.
have the lawyer, but you always stay as polite and as you can. You do not want to upset a DCF worker and make them feel like they are disrespected in some way. You want to try to be cooperative. I mean, I have a lawyer who works with them all the time, and I've asked her before, should I demand a warrant if they want to talk to my kids or whatever? And she was like, well, you could. You could.
You can go that way, but
if you do, they're going to make your life a living hell.
Yes.
So I suggest that you, if it ever happens, that you call me and we just do whatever they want and give them whatever they want. Because if you don't, and I've covered stories like this. I've seen it happen over and over again. If you fight them and you demand all the rights that you're supposed to have, you can make your situation a whole lot worse.
Well, what sucks about it, like, again, for this mess, I'll get to pay a lawyer for their for their inaction, essentially, because you don't want them to have to be active in this. You can go. Now, I've done this depending on the complaint. I like to know the complaint first. That's also part of the politeness. I don't let them in my home. That's a difference. You meet them at the door, you talk to them, you don't give them access, but you will end up giving them access.
Yes,
that's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
DCS is so powerful that there was an incident in Texas where the family of the governor, or then governor, they had a false political call in, and that organization did not like them because of politics and because of some statements that had been said because of DCS, and they made their lives absolute hell. And you're talking about a governor. If the
Wow.
governor can't deal with it, then you got to be careful. But
Yeah, if they want access to your kids in your house, they're going to get it one way
but
or the other.
what you do is you talk to your lawyer, and they can make contact. Now, again, these are the same people that I've gone through that drill with. One of them, so they do know that there is a lawyer on deck, but also that we're 100% cooperative too. Because you don't want to make it look like you're hiding something either. Because they
it makes them nervous, and it makes them feel like there's something to be said about it. It's a real delicate situation, and whenever I see people filming them and putting it on Facebook and being combative, and I feel like, oh God, no, don't. You're going about this all wrong. It's one thing, I mean, filming, of course, for your own protection is probably a good idea, but
Yes.
what you really need is to be as polite as possible, as cooperative as possible, and contact your lawyer like right away.
Well, you need to contact your lawyer right away, period.
Yep.
Before anything. You want to find out, I found in the drill, I want to find out what the complaint is. That's part of it. They're not going to gain access to my house. If they have a cop with them and I want a lawyer involved right off the bat, I'm not going to answer my door even, because there's a police officer. But if DCF is coming, then I'll walk out my front door and close my door behind them, because there's no police presence with them. They're not gonna put me in handcuffs or anything crazy like that without a police officer.
Right.
But they do, again, they have a lot of power. And again, I'm not giving you legal advice when I say that.
No.
I'm just telling you, I've been through this drill way more times than I think people realize. I have not brought up every time that we've had follow-ups on calls or anything else, but because every one of these calls, they come with follow-ups. They're going to have, they're probably going to, that first contact, typically you're not making available, you're going to set up a communication with the kids and everything else. The second time they'll have communication with the kids and everything, but then they'll have follow-up. They'll have at least one to tell you how it went. They will come back a third time. Again, when I'm saying that, the fault of the people too, put it squarely on there. There's an anonymous system where people can make complaints. There is, and it's supposed to be that way to, so people that see something really aren't discouraged. That system's in place, and it's very fallible. It is a very fallible system, but it's the best system that they can have, at the moment. And it's not the fault of the people that show up. It's the fault of the jackass making the complaint.
Well, so this is kind of interesting, because the other day we were watching that police footage or reading the report. I don't remember if it was footage or report, but we were reading something about Lynette and the false call and whatever. And she was upset because the police were telling her it's the state who would go after false calls, not you. You're not the party who is harmed. It's the state that is harmed. So if that's true, and the state should do a better job.
That was a police call now. Yeah, that was a police call.
And the state should do a better job, though,
of
going
should.
after false calls. So if they have to use their resources, for instance, so they had to send a bunch of people to your house, and they find out that unequivocally this was a false call. The person who is accused isn't even there. It wasn't even in the house. It doesn't have access to the children. Then they know for a fact it was a false call. They should then go back, identify that person, and press charges. And the thing is that the state just lets it go because it's either easier.
They don't investigate swatting. I mean, they to be a YouTuber, people do not understand this shit. To be a YouTuber, one of the first things you learn when you get just enough, you don't have to be big. You just have to have enough to get attention. If you get attention, pro or con, you may end up with police presence at your home. You got to call the businesses around and tell them, hey, don't look for food in my house. If it's some kind of insane amount,
Yeah.
it's got to be call me first. You got to talk to the 911 dispatchers. You got to talk to, I also, one of the mistakes I made, I didn't realize off go was you need to make that for every person in your home. You need to make them clear, that any name of anyone, it could be me, wife, child, anybody that supposedly calls in something before you, arrive with guns ablazing and kick the door down. Make sure. Now, luckily, where we live, it's a SWAT. Now, we do have a SWAT team, but they don't operate that specific way. They don't. They may show up heavy, but they don't show up with a fucking SWAT team. Thankfully,
Yeah, they
because
don't do
people have
that
tried
out
that.
here either. I
I
have had
remember,
conversations with them here about that, and they don't do that. They typically call first, or they knock on the door like a normal person to be like, hey, how's everything okay in there?
well, I remember when Peter Samedi, he's the guy who runs Alterna Comics. He got a call live. He had 2 detectives stop at his house, and they came in. Now they were ready to roll because they thought something terrible happened, because a false caller had called in and said that he had, I'm going to say the word offed his wife, and was calling in because he was going to do that to some other people too.
Oh God.
So he luckily only had 2 detectives show up at his house, but it happened live, in the middle of a broadcast, and
Jeez.
you could hear it. And we have police that are a little bit more present in the moment. They understand nowadays that there is swatting, but even
It's
with that,
happened
it's
to Nick
dangerous.
Rekieta several times during
Oh, yeah.
his stream. It's happened to Jeremy Hambley before during
Mhm.
a live that he was doing several times. They had his wife out in the yard at 3 a.m. in handcuffs in her pajamas. It was ridiculous. And it was like the second or third time. I mean, at that point, I'd be pissed that they kept doing this.
At Tim Cass, they
Tim
kept coming to
Cast.
his
Yep,
house.
that was live. I saw that one live too. That was insane.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
kept doing.
people are ridiculous, and calling anyone, calling law enforcement for ill purposes should have some pretty severe consequences when it's found to be absolutely without merit. And that includes calling CPS, it includes swatting. And unfortunately, to me, it's like the broken windows concept. I think law enforcement looks at it like small crimes. They look at it like petty stuff. And so they're focused on the big crimes that they're dealing with. But if you let broken windows stay broken, pretty soon your entire city is wrecked. And this is what we're dealing with. That's why the perjury thing is so important to prosecute in the Laura Owens case, because people lie on the stand all the time because everybody knows nobody gets prosecuted for perjury. But the minute you start prosecuting people for perjury, and you start prosecuting people for making prank calls, you start prosecuting the broken windows, that's when things start to change. That's when things go back to being better. Because people start realizing, oh, there's consequences for these things that I'm doing. There's consequences for this, for minor perjury. Yeah, because you could ruin somebody's life. Thank you, Channel Meme News. That's right. You could ruin somebody's life with that minor perjury, or with that false call to CPS and that false call to police. You could ruin somebody's life. Somebody could be killed. Your dog could be killed. Like, there's big consequences, and there should be big consequences for the people who do it.
There should be, but unfortunately, there usually aren't. They
Well, I take
typically
heart
don't do
in the
anything to
Laura
'em.
Owens case, because she's getting 4 counts of perjury
Yeah.
and tampering with evidence, all kinds of stuff, 7 felonies. So I feel like, in a small way, Maricopa County at least is showing the way back to sanity.
I just, I'm like, man, how many times I've done this dance right here, and like,
Mm-hmm.
there's
It
been
must be
no,
exhausting.
well, there's no I'm like, man, I got enough cameras around, so I don't have to go to the door and check to see who's here. I have cameras that overlook the yard and overlook the back and overlook the side of the house just to see, so I know what to expect. But yeah, it's ridiculous.
You should
That's
find out. You should when you have a conversation with them, you should tell them, now listen, you've been through this with me before, and we have documented proof that these are false calls. I'm tired of this, and I want to sue that person who did it. So are you going to turn it over, or do I have to include you in the discovery in the suit? That might be a way to go about it. Maybe there's a way, because I think if you sued them, if you did sue, not that you're going to sue them because, you're trying to work with them, but if you sued them, they would have to turn that over in discovery. I would think.
They can, I don't know, man. It's also, God, if I told you some of the stuff I've dealt with, if I talked about, like, there's some delicate stuff that I haven't, if I told you some of the stuff that you deal with in the courtrooms, if I talked about it live, like, you've seen the courtrooms, but if I told people some of the stuff you see in court, oh God. Yeah, it would make sense that might happen, but that won't happen.
But that won't happen. No, because life is just not fair like that. So some judge would be like, no, it's privileged, and they don't have to turn it over. That's what would happen.
I live in a one-party state. During a court procedure, I was told by a judge that even though I live in a one-party state, I can record anything that I want. That through a contact with something they made me do at one time. Again, I've never been in trouble with it, but I'm being vague in what I'm talking about here. But they told me that I had to give up my ability to record at one time in interactions, even though that would be totally against my state rights. That also a contract. So. During a whole process with dealing with the kid, like I said, a year and a half, I dealt with the courts, and God, it was so expensive. But one of the things that the courts did that I thought was so jacked up, the judge came in one day and told me that he couldn't even remember why we were there. He couldn't remember why we were having a hearing. So, of course, he had a catch-up where they told him, but he didn't care. You could tell. It just was like, fuck this. This is part of my day. Who gives a shit? And they decided that as part of a hearing that I had to have a psych eval. You've seen that with Jeremy Hales. Now, for myself, having to have that, it's unprecedented to do in this area because there was no reason, in fact, with everything that had gone on to get me to that point, I should have been in court. I hate these words, but in court, they would perceive you as a victim in this whole situation. So they made me go through it, and the kids, they made us all get psych evals. And as part of the company that was brought in to do this, because the court didn't do it, they made me pay for something, but they came in with a contract. And as part of the contract, it said that if they showed gross negligence, that would be willful misconduct. If they showcase willful misconduct, I agreed to only sue them for the amount of money that it cost me to bring them in. And I was like, no fucking way. No way. And the lawyers I had with me were like, they're going to make you. They're going to make you sign that. And I was like, this is bullshit. Because they're telling me in paper that if they do something intentionally that harms me or my kids and I catch them,
they're putting a cap on what you can go after. That's
I was like, there's no way I'm going to. And so I was like, I should be able to record them. They want to come in my home anyway, which is invasive as fuck. And nobody would ever be allowed to. And they were like, no. So the judge, brought these issues up, and the judge was pissed because it took up part of his day. He was pissed about it. And I was like, dude, I mean, everything you think bad about the court system is 10 times worse or 100 times worse than it.
Oh yeah, especially in these in family court. and what they do to you, forcing you to pay for experts that you didn't want, that
You
you
know how
would
much an
never
expert cost
hire,
me?
and then you have to sign something that says, "I can't even sue you if you harm me or my kids." That's crazy.
You know how much a judge made me pay for an expert? I'll talk about this, because this pisses me off. You know how much I had to pay for an expert to come in and fucking lie? The thing that actually, you know what? I've never talked about this, but I don't know. This eats me. The thing that made cooperation happen, and the reason that I'm not still in court, is because these so-called experts were willing to take it to a point that they wanted to take. Their game plan was to try to snatch my kids out of my house because I had control of them, and because there was a lot of terrible things that had gone on before, and their game plan was to try to do that. But with one kid, they couldn't just take them and remove them from my care and give them to another person. What they'd have to do is put them in state custody. So they were willing to do that.
Oh,
Yeah. So for the convenience of that, the expert that was brought in, a court made me pay $15,000 just for that expert. Yeah. Yeah.
and just to be
I was
clear,
like, what the fuck?
there has never been any finding or allegation against you for being any kind of
No,
inappropriate
I was a
parent
victim in
or
the
a
whole
bad parent. You
situation.
were the victim. Your children were safe in your care, but they knew that, and they were willing to remove them from you. And
I
that
had
is
video
crazy.
evidence. Everything I had was backed up by video and everything. It just didn't matter, and nothing mattered. Ultimately, I found it to be easier to try to come to some kind of arrangement outside of the court system, because you also hemorrhage money. The amount of God, people would not believe the amount of money that it cost to buy that year and a half to make sure that everything, was reset, to make sure that my kids would be okay and safe. It cost a lot. It started growing, getting closer to six figures to buy them a year
So
and a half.
nuts.
Yeah,
And
it was crazy.
to be clear, they don't care, these lawyers and experts. They don't care if they bankrupt. They want to bankrupt both of you. They want to bankrupt both
Yeah. Oh, the
parties.
court. I found
And
like,
they will work together to take every bit of money that the family has. They're not on anybody's side. They're on
the
the side of
court is.
taking the
That's the
money.
problem, though. The court isn't on any. The court's on the court side. It's not just the lawyers. The lawyers in that, like my lawyers are pretty. I felt pretty good with them, but some of the stuff the courts would allow, again, they bungled certain item. Again, imagine being a victim in a situation and then being like, well, see, you're supposed to, in order to have a psych eval, there's supposed to be something questionable about you having custody of a child. You're not supposed to just say, yeah, you can have that. That's fine, because that is a gross violation of your rights. But again, I caught a judge on a day, didn't know anything about the situation, didn't give a fuck about it, didn't remember what we were doing there, didn't want to know why we were there. And yeah, I sat there for 2 years. I just sat on my hands and not talk about that situation. And I still wouldn't talk about it if things were not, situated. And to be fair, when the expert, that fucking nasty expert, decided they wanted to go to that level, that actually, I guess, instead of going that way, communication happened instead, which was good, but, and I'm not saying that would have happened either, but for a fucking expert that deals with children, these are people with backgrounds that deal with kids, for you to be able to hire experts for 15 to plus, they would have gotten money that wouldn't have been the entirety of their cost. Their cost they would have also gotten travel. They would have gotten so many $1,000s per day for every day they would have gotten to be there. They probably bled me for $30,000. I'm sure, and it was insane. I don't know how I got on that subject. I think I'm ranting a little bit about it because people don't understand. They think when you deal with these situations, they see shit online and stuff, and they think, hey, if I'm in the right in this situation, that that's going to no, it's not. These mechanisms, family court and stuff, is made to screw you. It will bankrupt you,
Yep.
and it's crazy. But I mean, again, all these institutions, and then on top of it, like I said, you get all these crazy CPS stuff and everything else. What it does is it makes you hate these institutions. You go in with a healthy skepticism, and you leave it with a hatred of them all. So I hate it because my girls are learning a terrible life lesson in an age that I don't think they should have to learn this lesson out.
No, they shouldn't. This was
They get asked.
totally unacceptable. Whoever did this should rot in hell.
But they're going to ask my kids questions that are not age appropriate, in my opinion. That they are subjects that I would not have my kids, again, the first time.
That they would never know about if they weren't being questioned by these people.
Yeah. And again, that's not the fault of the agency. They have some kind of accusation.
Sure, they have to investigate it. They don't have a choice.
The first time we got a complaint was unlivable conditions. I remember that. I was like, unlivable conditions? What does that mean? And I explained that's you not having utilities. And I was like, well, obviously I've got utilities and stuff. You're here, we have water, we have a decent home.
Look, the lights work. You can.
But I had to walk them to my home and show them my refrigerator. Show them we had food in the refrigerator. It's crazy shit like that, and I mean, it's gone from there. We've had all kinds of complaints though. But this one, unfortunately, that little girl that you get to hear, she will be asked things tomorrow that she has never been heard about, and she will not understand. And that's sad. That is sad.
It's disgusting. These people should be ashamed of themselves, whoever did this.
Yep. It makes me hate them even more. Usually I thought when I first started covering things on YouTube, I thought you couldn't hate people without knowing them. And they proved me wrong. They
proved that wrong. I'm willing to say also that I hate them as well. And
well, I mean, they've aimed at your family too. I mean, they've gone out, they've doxed your and people don't realize, like, the stress. They do that intentionally because they're no longer getting to, like, Megan or myself, and the same reason they do that with Jeremy Hales. Like Jeremy Hale, that's why the divorce thing that they brought up, they started doing that. It's not to bring up the divorce thing. It's not to bring up it's somewhat to bring up allegations, but really it's to bring these people into the matter. It's to uncover something that is just, it's so painful in the moment, because when you're dealing with those situations, people make horrible allegations. Family court, unfortunately, this is another thing people don't realize, is in family court, people can say anything and it not have anything that substantiates it. The allegation, you're supposed to back those allegations up, but if you don't, nothing's going to happen. You can't sue a person for defamation in your family court case. So they get to say some pretty awful shit about you. And they do. People aim to hurt you. It's the worst place you could be at. And when these people drug Jeremy Hale stuff up, and they drug his kids up and everything, that's why they do it, because it hurts. And they hope that they hurt him. But they're willing to ignore red flag situations where they have another person that is just out and out claiming and now denying, by the way. And this same person is now denying that they've ever said those things. And they want proof that they've ever said them. It's amazing to me. So they're willing to ignore it. I've ranted about this for over an hour, by the way. So,
well, you have a right to be mad about it.
It's just goofy asses, man. They don't. Stuff like this doesn't stop us from investing. Again, I think it motivates us more. It motivates me. I have a lot of time. This is what I do for a living nowadays. And if they really want me to feel motivated, if they want me to feel like I should turn over every stone and I mean, we haven't even started that. You know, they think because they think time equals intense investigation. Oh no, it doesn't mean anything. And when I say intense investigation, I'm not talking about I've seen them whining because Jeremy Hill's hired a PI. Man, PIs, they're okay, but motivated individuals are much better than an army of PIs. So
Speaking of that video that Stupid Dave put up today,
oh God,
is like, first of all, that is the worst editing job I've ever seen in my entire life. It gave me a seizure. Please don't give your audience seizures, by the way. Don't put videos just full of flashing lights. I don't even know what I was watching.
and
But
bad
he is
cuts.
such bad cuts. And he's using this AI female voice too. Instead of his, lispy chicken grease voice. And
Chicken grease.
well, he always he has a mouthful of something greasy. I don't know.
Well,
It's
he's
just
using a
gross.
woman's voice. What's really weird is I'm like, what's up with all these people catfishing in some way? You know, I mean, you don't want the audience to know you're a 300 pound.
Stupid Dave? What's with Stupid Dave using AI video creation all of a sudden? Did he learn that from someone?
I wonder. Also, I mean, again, instead of being the 350 pounds, if you're very generous, that's what he stated, 350
More like
person there.
400.
He's using a female voice now, a female AI voice. Very odd.
It is
they're trying to do.
catfishing. It's catfishing. Clearly, it's just the same thing that the flea bags do by putting those cartoons of them that look nothing like them with giant boobs and stuff. They're just catfishing dummies.
Bunch of weirdos, man. But he's trying to set up. He's playing it right by the book. Like he's his stuff. When you listen to it, what is really interesting, and I noticed because I saw that go up, you have 2L in the comments saying, "Oh, Dave, you should share this with people." That means then, to me, that means they were given that when it was unlisted and it wasn't shared with everybody.
Oh, that's interesting. I didn't catch that. But you know what? You know what? The other thing about it is too that gets me is he doesn't name any names, and he's so vague in this video that anyone who hasn't been following this story is not going to have a fucking clue what that video is about. Like, not at all. And it just goes to show you how scared he is, that he knows he's doing things that are getting him. He knows he has been saying things and doing things that have gotten him in trouble. Because now he's just like, he's made it so vague that you have no idea what he's even talking about. To me, I think it's like an admission of guilt.
Well, he also has he's going to have an issue too, because in there he's trying to set up the claims for damages. You can hear it, I mean, it's the basic stuff. It's the mental duress, all of that. But unfortunately, he already noted many times very publicly that he has these issues. So he's talked about his
before he even talked about Jeremy Hale, he's been talking about his mental issues for years.
Yep, and how they drive him offline and this and that. So, I mean, it would have a real problem putting together a case and saying, this stuff would, CT, please stop telling the police to fuck off. No, fuck the police. Dude, I have no respect for that. Police came to my house one day. You want me to tell you a story?
Oh, boy, this is a bad one.
Fucking story. I called in the police for help because of a situation. And I had 3 police come to my house. Well, even though I had the situation recorded, one of these police here, they were intent in making me the bad guy and putting me in jail. So fuck those police, all of them. If I will never teach my children to call police unless it is absolutely vital. You handle it yourself. If it's a situation that I cannot handle myself, I will have to call the police. But otherwise, no. Anytime you bring them into your life, it's worse. It is. And we can always go back to well, there's good police out there. Okay, well, I didn't feel any that day. I've had quite a few situations where those good cops weren't there to be found. So if that disturbs you or bothers you, that is my lived experience. In my lived experience, it has not been a fun one with them. So no. I've had police when I've needed their help and I've been forced to contact them. Yeah, no. Then we have our prosecutor that's in this county that's running around running and gunning in other fucking counties, And that I would cover that story too. I would actually cover our prosecutor going nuts out here, but I know that the law enforcement here would retaliate and ruin my life for it. So no. So they can eat it. I have a healthy disdain for them, a very healthy. And if that bothers you, you're allowed to feel that way. But I don't feel any love for it at all. My feelings for that have been earned. They've definitely been earned. And I have to be, I'm vague about some of those situations there because I'm not trying to ruin anybody's life with it. But yeah, I had some issues. I had my first run in with the police. I was driving when I was I guess it was, I can't remember if it was 16 or 17. I was leaving a comic book shop and I got a police car behind me. They held me outside of their jurisdiction into another county, decided to pull me over, guns drawn. And they told me the reason they were pulling me over, I'd left a comic book shop. I'd bought comics and some cards or whatever. And these cops come up on my car. They have their guns drawn. And when they do, they want permission to search my vehicle. And I'm like, why? No, first of all, no, absolutely not. But why? Why do you want to search my vehicle? They saw me with paraphernalia, they keep telling me. Paraphernalia, and it took me a minute to register this. They saw me with a poly bag that had a comic book in it. And they wanted to call that paraphernalia. They wanted to tell me the bag, a plastic bag that a comic book goes in. It with a comic book in it. It was somehow paraphernalia. And they wanted to search my car. Now, luckily, in that place, this happened in Ridgetop, Tennessee, actually. That's where I got pulled over. And luckily, I knew people that when it went over the CB, their police scanner, that somebody came out there and told those people to fuck off. They had no jurisdiction there. Otherwise, they're going to hem me up. That was my first run in with some really disreputable police officers. It's just gone from there. So anyway, I can't remember.
I would really like to believe that police have my best interest at heart, but I also am skeptical. I've had some good experiences and some bad, and you just have to. I believe police need to be held accountable for the bad stuff they do. And I don't like immunity, and I don't like any of the things that protect any government official from facing consequences.
Yes, they have qualified immunity. That means anytime something goes wrong and something terrible happens, you may sue, and you're going to sue your fellow taxpayers. You'll get paid by them, but nothing will ever happen.
Right.
I mean, and again, that's not really a reflection on individual police officers all the time either. When we talk about these things, we're talking about this entire institutions are broken, just like CPS. I think a lot of people got into CPS because they really thought they were going to change the world,
Sure.
But they end up in a broken institution. And as part of it, unfortunately, when I say like fuck CPS, I'm not talking about one specific individual. I'm talking about all of it because it's a broken institution.
About the institution and how badly they fail statistically. I mean, you can talk about the institution, and that's separate from the individuals that are inside of it, because obviously not all of them are terrible people. Some of them are very terrible people, though. There
But
are
the terrible
definitely
people are
some
never
terrible
weeded.
people.
That's the
And they're
problem
never
too.
weeded out. That's right. You know what they do at DCF or CPS when they have these terrible people and they get sued and then they lose millions of taxpayer money? Do you know what they do with them? They don't get rid of them. They give them promotions. They just promote them out of the department. It's incredible.
Yep. And if they get in enough trouble, with unions and other stuff too, which makes it very hard to fire specific individuals. They will park you if you're a problem. I mean, you can be fired, but it takes a lot. It does. It takes a lot.
Oh, it takes so much to get people fired who work for the government. It's insane. It shouldn't be that difficult to fire someone who works for the government. Sorry, it's another thing. But government is totally screwed up from top to bottom. It just is. Our founders knew it would be that way, which is why they tried to limit the power and scope of government from the very beginning. And, every couple hundred years, you need to cut that back down again because it grows out of control by its design. I mean, our founders did everything they could to try and limit the size of government, and look at how big it has gotten over the last 250 years. It has gone out of control. It is absolutely not the government that our founders wanted. They wanted a small government, almost no federal government. They wanted states to have rights. They wanted the federal government to be almost nothing. And look what we have now.
Turn something on. I was checking my doorbell light to make sure my camera's working. See, when people talk about this stuff too, I watch my cameras and everything else while we're doing this. Like I said, it does make me a little paranoid. So.
Well, sure. Yeah. I don't blame you. I mean,
you get some crazy people like with this stuff though. Man. Yeah, I remember too. There have been situations. Vanessa noted like the little one contact. She got a hold of her sister's phone last year and called 911. And she thought she would talk to them because she thought it's fun to play with a phone, and had no idea
that was funny.
Yeah, it's those are scary situations too when you look at them. I joke about them, but I'm like, you never know how this situation like that might go too. We only have a handful of officers. That officer I was talking about that was a real fun person to deal with. That wouldn't make me a bad guy in a terrible situation. Yeah, he's one of a dozen police officers that might come. So it's like a coin flip. I get around a 10% chance that person might show up in my door for no telling what. So yeah, but anyway, let's look at some Preston posts since we're talking about crazy and we're talking about stupid today. Let's look at a few things. Like she posted these yesterday. I thought I would throw these in as a topic too. She was talking yesterday about claims, the claims that she has never made. Or I said yesterday, it was the day before. Was it yesterday or the day before? I don't remember. She's been on a posting spree, right? But she's now at the point where she says that she's never made any types of claims, by the way. And that kind of blows my mind to see. Because she was out saying, she was, first of all, she was talking about property and everything else the other day. And then she goes to, and another thing, people, please hear me. My child has never been, let's say, a certain way touched or arped or anything. And as a survivor of SA, I would never, ever, ever make false claims about anyone.
Oh, you liar. You liar. I'm sorry. This is ridiculous. You liar. Lynette, you're a liar. You have accused so many people of SA, of children, including John Cook, who your own attorney verified that text message we have was from you. He said, It was private communications that were
Yes.
shared.
Yes, he
You
was saying
liar.
doxing private communications. He did not say if it was a problem when he contacted Shara about those, he would have told her not to share fake information, but he didn't. He threatened her about doxing private communications.
He
Yes.
verified that those were your text messages, and he never denied it. Even when we called him out and said, you just verified these things are real, he never denied it. And
Yeah,
neither
'cause
did you
typically
until all of a sudden just now. And by the way, Lynette, and you know exactly who I'm talking about. You have accused someone of, well, I'll just say it because she's ready to tell her story. You've accused Kathy, and you know who that is, of SA, of her stepchildren. And you have the things that you did led to her having to actually go to jail. And that story is coming out. That story is going to come out because she's getting real sick of listening to you lie about her and her children. Ashley's mom. You guys remember Ashley? Ashley's mom has been a victim of Lynette, Michelle, Lacey, Alexis,
Didn't she
Preston.
make a comment about that recently? About
She
that
did.
person?
And she put her mugshot up. The
Yeah.
nerve of this woman to put this other woman's mugshot up, which we are not certain whether or not Kathy, I don't believe Kathy went to jail rightly. I think she went to jail wrongfully because of the false allegations, because of the false things that Lynette said and planted in people's heads and rumors and everything else. So I don't believe and then she has the nerve to continue this. She has the nerve to stalk Kathy throughout her life and do things like call a cruise line that she found out she was going on and send them her mugshot to say, don't let this woman on your boat. She's a child predator.
That's wild,
Imagine.
man.
So I don't want to hear you, Lynette, say you've never accused anyone of SA. That is false. It is a lie. You have also accused your ex-husbands of SA. You've accused
all of
Ashley's dad. You accused, and I mean, I don't know if any of them actually were. I have no idea. But she has accused multiple people of SA.
But what's crazy is remember when Marla tried to do damage control on those John Cook statements, how messed up they were. Here, look at this. Like, not just talking about the
Lloyd?
accusation again,
Didn't
but
accuse Lloyd?
Lloyd
Campbell.
hasn't it been? I mean, everybody of abuse at least, nondescript sometime, but that word. I mean, you had here Marla, meh. HG said JC touched her and her when asked. Since then, MP has realized that it was an accident. It was investigated by MP, of course, not by anyone else. JC is still in charge of her. Yeah, okay. All right. Uh-huh. So you did.
So she did say it.
So they even the antis agree that she said it. Mm-hmm. They agree. They just try to put up a smokescreen and say, "Oh, it was just a misunderstanding."
Yeah. No, Lynette, you're not getting away with this crap. We have evidence. We have proof that you said these things. We have proof that you've said it about not just John Cook, but other people. There are witnesses that are going to come out and talk about this. Kathy's going to tell her story. She's going to tell the whole thing. So your days of being able to tell lies about Kathy are pretty much over. So get it all out of your system because she's going to be telling her story about what you did to her.
I'll never. I mean, just the audacity to say I've never made statements there. I've never.
The audacity.
I mean, God, it blows my mind because. These people, they gaslight us so much in telling us that I never actually said that. I never said this or I never said that. And it's like, yeah, you have. Like embrace your statements. You've said some terrible things about John Cook. If they are true, then holy God. And if they're not, then holy God. Either way, they are disturbing statements.
Oh, and I have her on video. I have a video. She took it down a long time ago. She thinks probably nobody has it. But I have Lynette on video telling people on Facebook that John is an abuser and that he abuses
Oh,
her.
yeah. Yeah. That was one of the first, when I asked for proof that she had said stuff, I ended up with seeing that.
Yeah, I have it. We have it. And Lynette, your lies, your stories, you cannot just keep making up
Well,
new shit and think nobody is going to remember what you've done and what you've said. We have it all.
yes, that statement, by the way, Lynette, again, are you just for the record, just to make this clear, since she keeps listening to stuff, are you telling me that this is not real? Are you going to go with this message right here where you said those things about Cook and
That your attorney verified was your
Yeah.
private communications.
Are you now denying that these are real? To make that clear, you're denying that you said this stuff, that you were told these things, you wouldn't have him around and stuff, but you're not going to turn him in because you don't want to lose your kid. I mean,
Also, in that message, did you see? He says he's not one of my offending
Yeah.
husbands.
Yeah, where she's accused other people.
Oh,
Yes. And
she's
again,
accused every ex-husband she's ever
Yeah.
had, I believe, of this.
Yeah, it was funny. Marla was asked about that one day and said, so out of these people, just to make it clear, because of the John Cook thing, when this is stated, how many people has she falsely accused, or how many people do you think are not guilty? And Marla was like, oh, only John Cook.
Really? That's
Yeah.
interesting. Why
Yeah,
just him?
Well, well, I mean, because otherwise, how do they show pony the dude and show him off and and talk about all of this while also saying that he's guilty of something otherwise?
For the chat saying she's just going to say it's AI, she can't. Her own attorney verified.
He verified. That is a major screw up, by the way. I mean, when you think about it, because typically, as far as court systems are concerned, you would have to bring in someone and say that, yeah, this stuff here, we verify its authenticity. But he circumvented all of that.
He did. He was representing her at the time, and he responded to Shara with a legal letter telling her that she was in danger of being sued because she was sharing Lynette's private communications.
Mm-hmm.
He verified that the text message was real and accurate and came from his client.
That was wild, by the way, to see that.
Now, again, we've always said from the beginning, we don't know whatever she says, we have no way of knowing whether it's true or not because she lies about everything. And so there's no way to tell the things that she says, whether they're real or false. But she absolutely said that.
Well, and it's a problem because one way or the other, it's either a false allegation, which in and of itself is bad, very bad.
Yep,
like that stuff
very
gets
bad.
dismissed. It's dismissed so casually because we see this stuff so often. But these are life ruining allegations. Either that, or on the other side of it, it's true. And that in of itself, that's indeed horrible too. So either way you go with it.
Either way, it's terrible.
It blows my mind, man. Yeah, let's see. Give me 1 second. All right. Yeah, here's the letter, by the way, just a note from Bruce. I actually have that. So
Joey in the chat, by the way, if you want to email me about that, Joey Fleetwood, my email, I'll put it in the chat. If you have a story to tell, I'm happy to listen. Okay. So here you go. Here's my, it'll come from Tug in the chat, but this is my email.
Yeah, it'll
Go
look like
ahead
I'm
and
messaging because it comes
yeah, it
through the
looks like it comes
StreamYard
from
thing.
Tug, but that's my
Yeah.
email address. Why don't you say if you have a story you want to tell me, I'm happy to listen.
God, what a bunch of crazy though. It blows my mind because we are gaslit so much with this, you know.
I know we have to keep going back and showing you, no, this really happened. It really did. And look, you've got it. I can't believe you found this right out. That
Oh
was
yeah,
really quick. Good
yeah.
job. Good
Well,
work. Look at this. Your doxing of old private messages.
mhm.
What an
See, he said
idiot.
this, yeah, in January. I mean, again,
What an
people,
idiot.
when you see this, you got to think like again. Normally, you would have to bring an expert to verify. It would just be denial, regardless of how it's set up. There would be denial. That's not real, you know. There's no way that that's real. Like, prove it, you know. That's the way. That's the typical lawyer game. So I was shocked that he sent this out, especially considering what we were talking about. Because we were talking about, again, some pretty horrible allegations. And said, Shara, the messages between you and MP from a year ago or longer, which are shown in your YouTube video, were confidential and sent in reliance on her trust in you. If you had valid concerns, you failed to raise them at the time because you were more concerned with your position as a trusted insider with Miss Preston. For you to manipulate a victim and then to use her private, confidential communications to make monetized YouTube videos is against journalistic ethics. Man, I love it when people get on their fucking
Their high horse, their
soapbox about
ethic
that.
high horse. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, you know, because you're telling me these are real allegations. So he's telling you, like, these are real, but he wants to get on his high horse about sharing communications.
Uh-huh.
So he verified
How does
that
he
for
feel?
us.
How did he feel about Volmet sharing my private text messages in my emails?
Oh, he doesn't care, you know.
He didn't give a shit. He
He
didn't give
doesn't
a
care at
shit about
all.
people sharing emails and text messages. Give me a break, Bruce. But is there anything in here? Is there anywhere in here that it says those messages were fabricated with AI and they're not
Oh,
real?
no. No. It's
Huh.
saying that
Weird.
he's just, it's like, this is not a threat of lawsuit. It's just, you know, all been threats of lawsuit. How many threats of lawsuit have we seen with him? I
Oh
love
my
his,
God, countless. I can't even count how many.
well, we know, like, straight up, because Shar made videos about it where he was just straight up threatening. Like, he dropped all facade, all pretense. It was just like, yeah, I'm threatening you for sure. Here you go. But she continues in saying, you know, investigations, medical examinations, etc. I would never subject my beautiful little girl to any of that. Again, you said that you would not contact CPS in those allegations, but you definitely made the allegation. These lies are more than disgusting and sickening. They are so despicable and deceptive. Lies have been turned over to the Levy County Sheriff by me myself. Okay. But I want them investigated, including my handwriting reports. So she's going back to the signs now because the signs are also allegations. You know, those signs are saying that Hales did some terrible things and they weaponize a kid. So that's why that's brought up in there too. I asked it be done fully. Now, again, sheriffs have no ability to go in and to investigate that and to give you any kind of report. In fact, if they base anything off of your garbage fucking handwriting report, I would sue them. I would. I found, by the way, I mentioned this yesterday. I found a video with Levy County, with some Levy County police, you know, where they had a little problem because of stuff they got into. I think I'm going to share that.
I want to see. That'll be fun.
It's pretty good. It's a lackluster one of their videos and then a follow-up. But if you look up Levy County and Levy County police controversies, you'll find a few. And you're not talking about a huge area. You know, remember the embezzlement thing that came up too? You know, what was that? $42,000 that somebody allegedly took from their department. I haven't looked at the outcome of that, by the way. I need to look and see how that resolved. But anyway, let's see. More lies that will be brought to the light and debunked. She's trying to co-opt the debunked thing, you know. How many times are you going to believe someone is going to jail and they don't before you realize you've been fooled? All for the love of money. Well, in a just world, people really do think when they look at some of this stuff, they think, man, people wouldn't go to jail over some of this stuff. But unfortunately, again, that's where people get it wrong. They think, yeah, some of the stuff I've seen 100% should put a person in jail. I fully believe that. I think when John Cook admitted to lying to the police, hiding weapons, and when he pulled a pew-pew on people in a vehicle, I believe that 100% should have sent a person to jail. But guess what? It didn't. It didn't at all. If I seem like I'm not worried about it, it's because I'm not. You can't make the truth a lie. Two wrongs don't make a right. Do you like the fortune cookie?
Yes.
Oh my God. Yeah. How many? Oh Lord. She comes with a lot of that. Like a lot of fortune cookie advice. I do not call names. I've seen you calling people names in your chats.
Oh my God. What? You don't call names. You call Lloyd a groomer. You call Jeremy disgusting. You call him all sorts of things. You call him a stalker.
Lord.
When you're the one with the stalking order against you. I mean, my God. 4 lefts make a right. Thank you, chat. Look,
That's
Tug.
so funny.
More 4 lefts make a right.
Oh man, hey, finally. We got a goody.
What we
got a motion to dismiss from Lips to Lips.
What? We did?
Yeah, there's a motion to dismiss.
Oh, we got it. Okay, because yes, we found out that she did not miss her deadline because it wasn't yesterday, because yesterday was a holiday. Today was the deadline, and we got one. I'm so thrilled. It is 17 pages long. This is so great. Right, oh God, can we read it? Come on, let's read it.
It had 17 pages.
Oh, come on. It's not bad. We'll go fast.
Let's take a vote. Chad, okay. Would you like us to look at this wonderful document that you're probably like, yummy, that looks delicious? Or would you rather be on a fast right now?
What do you think they're going to say? Chad, if you let me down on this, I swear to God, I will come after you.
Oh, well, I'm watching my weight and my figure.
They're like, we're gluttons. Read it. Look at the chat. No one has said fast. Not one.
Y'all have to give me a minute. I've got to actually look at it and make sure there's no redaction necessary. I'm sure there's at least a couple. So let me.
All right.
Let me hit the signatures.
I'm looking through it. Also.
I know there's a signature box at the end for sure, and there may be who knows what attached to the back end.
Oh my God, they're accusing the plaintiffs of extortion. Extortion, Tug. Extortion.
These are the same people that told us that if we went forward with a lawsuit, that they would bleed us for hundreds of thousands of dollars.
We were supposed to owe them something like $360,000 in 21 days, which has come and gone, by the way. I have not received my bill yet. Have you received a bill for $360,000?
So they're trying to attach her in lieu of. You know, what's funny is they're trying to go in and argue part of the merits for her case against us, but there is no case.
There's no case. against us. You dismissed it, you absolute twit. Oh my God. They're currently suing others in federal courts as content for profit for their YouTube channels. I'm sorry, who am I suing? Just you,
Yeah,
Lips.
exactly. Who am I suing again? I've actually never. Here's a wonderful thing, Lips. I've never sued another person ever, but I made an exception for you. You know me, I don't like getting tangled up in litigation. But when somebody wants to run a fucking countdown to extort me out of hundreds of thousands of dollars by saying I can't go out, I can't get justice after you've done this to people over and over again. You want to get your nitwit friends, your nitwit pals to fucking tell me or else? No way. You're not going to get to defame and ruin and do all of that for no. We will definitely. We're
going to dance.
All the way.
We're going to dance.
All the way. There is no settlement, no compromise, nothing.
Nope. And oh my God, these arguments are so funny. Oh my God.
Okay. Let me pull it up. I know the chat is like, oh my God, I'm redacting. I apologize. We just got it though. So
yeah.
There were actually three documents they dropped today? Counting this?
Yeah, 3.
There was the response to
Lisa Lee's motion to dismiss and the response to Ray Bone Crusher's motion to dismiss. And they were both bangers from Randy. They're 30 pages long, so we couldn't do it tonight. But maybe we'll go over some of that tomorrow. But this is delicious. Oh my God, I love this so much.
Oh man. This is so because let's see. There's actually
wait till you get to her timeline. It's so fucked up and stupid. Oh my God.
So we're dealing with an motion to dismiss here. This is Leslie and Michael. They're coming together with an intro. The defendants here, you know who all of us are. The amended complaint arises from a prior lawsuit. Okay, well, we have an admission that we've had a prior lawsuit right here. Which introduces, I'm going to roll and then
we don't need to read every single word of this part.
We'll read the whole thing. We're doing a little perusing, you know.
Yes, we're doing a little perusing.
Hit this whole thing.
But look, hit the sentence on page. Oh God, what page is this? Why can't I see my page number? Look, page 2. This court should
Randy
know.
Shockett. Oh my God. Well, look at this. So they try to, again, they're still going with the idea that we ignored cease and desist. First of all, asshole, you never served me.
And I don't consider myself served with a cease and desist because it came from a dubious email whose author never verified that he was who he said he was.
Right.
So I don't think I was served with it either. I just got a weird email from someone claiming to be your husband.
Yeah, you randomly you claim communications with people. Again, the only thing I got was you're in court now, you know, and threats, continued threats over and over. So, But this doesn't matter. Like none of it
matters because you dropped the thing.
Yeah.
So whether we ignored your stupid cease and desist or not matters not at all. Not even a little bit.
So she's like, oh, well, we dismissed without prejudice and no finding against the merit of their complaint. Actually, you dropped it. That is a finding against your merit.
And you dropped it twice so that the dismissal rule comes into play, you dumbass.
Yup, that is indeed. We ended up winning there. There was indeed a finding. You found it yourself, jackass. But after receiving extensive harassment and extortion by plaintiffs.
I'm going to need a source there. Where's your citation for the extortion and the excessive harassment? I'm going to need a citation. We don't even have a footnote. She didn't even put a footnote in.
Oh, it's so nuts, though. Then providing factual basis of claims of abuse of process and malicious prosecution. Oh, we showed 100%, and we've shown how you've done this many times before, folks. So it's not your first rodeo.
Nope. No, it is not.
Plaintiffs rely on unsupportive, vague, conclusory allegations and ignore the context of ongoing threats, harassment, and intimidation continue to be directed at the defendants. This motion, it seeks to address these deficiencies, dismiss, and clarify. Oh, yeah, you definitely. Oh, and the court should know you're doing this with you. We're allowed to cover our fucking lawsuit. You brought the here's the thing. Then you had a YouTube channel and you brought lawsuits against us. You started trying to grow a YouTube channel off of defamation. So
your own
content for
your own co-conspirator, Darth Touch, said that the only lawsuit in this case that is frivolous was yours.
Indeed.
Just want to bring that up. Oh, that reminds me. Speaking of, I forgot. I was going to clarify this. On the hate page, somebody posted, I guess Paint Chips has posted a screenshot of an interview that I did with him and Volpe a while ago. And a bunch of you thought that it was photoshopped or faked. I just wanted to clarify. No, it wasn't. I was invited on that podcast no one listens to by Darth Touch, by Volmit. And I went not knowing who Luthman was, not knowing who Paint Chips was. I don't look into everyone. I didn't even know that he was going to be there. Because I don't know who these people are. I know Mike, and Mike was a friend of mine at the time. And so I said yes to him when he invited me on his show that no one watches. Because sometimes I do stupid things for people that I think are friends of mine. I will never do it again.
You wouldn't. Well, I mean, that would be the same thing. If I'm having a live stream, you figure other people have done their due diligence, and I mean, you just go on shows.
Right. I didn't know who he was. And like, to my memory, I don't really even remember what we were talking about, but I don't remember him saying anything terrible, or I would have noticed. But yeah, no, that was a real interview that I was asked to do, and so I did it. That's the end.
It just proves, like, again, this is why, again, when people ask for different things, like, hey, why don't you go on this channel, or why don't I go on that? Well, because ultimately, experiences like that, they burn you. Is that fair to everybody? No, but again, you have to understand, after you have experiences like these where people, they try to weaponize
you get real
any good deed
careful.
you do. Yeah,
and you can all blame Mike Volpe for me saying no going forward to small channels. Blame him. It's his fault.
What a bunch of nuts, though. They'll do anything just to pretend that somehow. What does that even mean? Like, what's the point in posting that? Are they saying somehow that now they're the good guys?
Well, I thought it was interesting because I thought that their whole point was to say that I'm a terrible journalist and I'm no good at anything, and I'm corrupt and everything else. But now they want to brag that they had me on their
interviews with you. Yeah, exactly. That's what I don't get.
And they agree with my assessment of that topic that we were discussing. Actually, I think it was about court professionals, like psychologists and stuff. So now they're putting me out there as an expert. I don't know. I can't keep up with their narrative. I really can't.
That's what I'm saying. I don't get it. Okay, so her timeline, May 19th, she serves a lawsuit. Again, we'll go more in depth with all this later on. We'll go through everything in it, but just for brevity's sake, so we're jumping through. Their whole thing is, when she served it, never served the plaintiffs here. We never got served. Her bringing, again, the lawsuit, period, another frivolous lawsuit, dismissing it, and then adding us again while making threat after threat after threat online. No. Mm-mm. Also, furthermore, for Jeremy and George, they only filed a notice of appearance, but nothing else. It's okay. Then in the lawsuit, Leslie, she alleges all this stuff. Who gives a shit what she alleges?
Who cares? That lawsuit is dead in the water because she dropped it twice.
Yep, it is done. So on June 16th, she files a motion to amend Okay, again, that's through a lawsuit. Their whole argument is we didn't serve them. That's the whole thing. When they've been threatening that they're going to take all this money, they're going to bleed us for all of that. They seem to think that they're litigating the case that they dropped.
Yeah, that's what she's trying to do. She's
Yeah,
focusing on the one that she dropped.
Defendant's lawsuit arose after Leslie participated in interviews about Jeremy. She asked neutral, yeah, you distributing that revenge prawn in some of your interviews. That seemed very, you creating bully exterminators. Yeah, I bet that doesn't come up in this. I bet none of that comes up in here. But she's like, they never. They publicly receive. Okay, so my bad here. So she does this. She's attacked by people who are getting money. By the way, if you enjoy this content and my voice going out right at that moment when I'm saying it, if you enjoy this content and you would like to make a monetary donation, because, that would be funny. After everything these people try to do too. After all the nasty and the vitriol, it's always funny to give them that and to monetize them. I love to monetize. They're stupid. I love to monetize them when they try to call in fake calls. I love to monetize them when they do this kind of stuff because they hate it. You can tell. They bring it up over and over again. You make money,
Yeah, so send in money because it makes them writhe around on the floor screaming like vampires hit with holy water, and it's just funny.
It's just
YouTube is for making money. Nobody would do this for free. Like nobody would do it for nothing. Of course, that's why we do it.
This is my job, man. Now, like I said, I put in a lot of time. I go through stuff all day long. Like, again, Megan's the same way, and she can attest to that
We
too.
work
All day long.
All day long.
We are digging through stuff, no matter where I'm at. If people are hitting me up about something.
Oh my God, I've been texting Tug in the doctor's office, literally. Like,
yeah.
All right, I'm in the doctor's office, but what about such and such? Like, we work all day long.
And that it's I enjoy covering these cases. This case is the wildest thing. I wouldn't wish it on Jeremy Hales, but as far as covering it, I like covering it. These people are nuts. They're clown car. They are some of the dumbest people I've ever fucking seen. So I love covering that. But so additionally, plaintiff took copies of defendant's lawsuit where they published them to their YouTube. Oh, wait, we published, filed to have sealed and confidential. If they were sealed and confidential, how would we have gotten?
She put this into the court after getting a police report that literally
said it was all good
and said there's no crime here. They were public documents.
And again, this doesn't have anything to do with the lawsuit we're in. Still nothing, She filed her lawsuit against plaintiffs after serving cease and desist. That's a lie, by the way. That is a 100% lie. You did not serve me. And again, as Megan said, she tried to clarify. You also didn't give the correct time frame that you would, even if it would have been a 100% legit cease and desist. You didn't give the time frame.
I just read that wrong. Number 6. I just read that wrong. She is actually saying, this is even funnier.
Okay.
Holy shit. Plaintiffs took copies of defendant's lawsuit where they published them to their YouTube channel after defendant filed in the court to have the lawsuit sealed and confidential. So, and she did. I came across that the other day that she had filed to seal it.
Yeah, after the fact. So she's admitting it wasn't. So she's admitting.
The court never took any action on that because it was ridiculous. You can't seal a public lawsuit. You can't do that. Like, it's very, very
even
rare
if it was, though, if we have stuff, again, we've picked it up publicly We've picked up all of this, and you're claiming we don't have access to it now? I mean, so you're admitting that we found
But
this
she's talking about the
100%.
lawsuit she filed against us because
Us. Yeah.
she
I thought
then
she was talking about the other
so did
lawsuit.
I, but she's not. She's talking about the one she filed against us
Yeah.
because she then turned around and tried to have it sealed. And I remember laughing at her going, that shit's not getting sealed. It's too late. The toothpaste is out of the tube anyway. And plus, there's no children involved. There's no reason to seal this. This is a public case and I'll fight it all day long. And the
Yeah, hell
judge
yeah, I'd
didn't
fight
even
that.
respond. The judge didn't even respond.
You are not taking away my First Amendment rights. I have the right to talk about whatever the fuck I want, first of all. But a case that you want to bring
Exactly.
against me, an illegitimate garbage,
You think you're
vexatious
gonna get a
lawsuit.
gag order on us? Do you know what we do? Do you know
I
who
mean, are
we
you
are?
kidding me? Well, not just that. You bring that shit, you try to pound that down. I swear to God, like I very rarely ask lawyers that we know for help, you know, but I would bring every one of them, every single one, in, if that, if that happened.
Yes.
Ugh.
Yes. And I mean, just ridiculous. This is so funny. God dang
So
these people.
Defendant Leslie Federico's filed her lawsuit after serving the cease and desist, which again is garbage. They all responded by mocking and establishing they had no intention of ceasing the publication of, she
Well, that
says
is the
again,
only appropriate
false
response.
statements. Prove it. What false statement?
What false statements? And anyway, that's not what this lawsuit is about.
Yeah,
You
this has nothing to
dropped
do
your
with your
lawsuit about false statements. You admitted your lawsuit was garbage by dropping it.
They're like, Michael, we're alleging he didn't do a reasonable investigation. Again, we are going to cover her clown car fucking allegations. We will cover them, you know, because
Wait till you see the video I'm doing on her. I would have had it done for you to redirect people to after this stream, but I had a problem with my editing software. But I am working on it had to crash out. Yeah, it had to crash out. I am working on a Who is Leslie Federico's video. And it's just part 1. Baby, we're just getting started. We're just getting started. By the time I'm done with you, everyone will know what you have done. Everyone. You really will have to change your name by the time I'm done with you. Just by putting out there what this person has already done and put out there publicly. Nothing that I have done. Everything that she has done. Wait until you see this video. It is going to light YouTube on fire. It's going to be great.
it's amazing to me that they pull it. Hey, I gotta take. Can you hold this for a minute?
Yes,
All right,
I will. All right. So actually what I'm going to do here is I'm going to share mine so that I can control it. Did I suddenly get fuzzy? My microphone is sounding weird to me. What is that static? I hope I'm the only one who can hear it. Maybe it's my my headphones. All right, I'm going to share my screen so that we can keep going. Oh God, this is unbelievable. All right. So, plaintiffs allege defendant Michael Federigos failed to conduct a reasonable investigation of the facts and law before filing the original lawsuit. However, provide no basis or specific action to substantiate this allegation. How about, because it was all bullshit, she didn't give us any actual basis, no legal basis for this lawsuit, and not even any specific allegations. She used a bunch of nameless Jane and John Does and attributed like anonymous posts on Facebook to us somehow. Plaintiffs allege defendant Michael Federigos knew or should have known that the claims asserted lacked merit. Yeah. However, provide no basis or specific action to substantiate this allegation. That's very vague. The basis for it is he's a lawyer. He is supposed to know which claims are worthwhile, which claims actually could be added to a lawsuit and which ones can't. So, All right, I'm not the only one who hears it. God dang it. I really don't like that my microphone is doing this. I don't know why it's doing it, but it's bothering me. Blah, blah, blah. Plaintiffs allege defendant Michael Federigos on or about June 15th, 2025, filed a request for a judicial notice of the original lawsuit in Levy County, Florida Circuit Court. Yeah, the judicial notice. That was the thing. Oh, and she attached it. Oh God, a copy being attached. Oh God, that thing is so crazy. That's that thing where she was trying to tell the judge that he was involved in this case now. So she entered it in his other case. Plaintiffs further allege defendant Michael Federigos did not represent any party in the proceeding before the second court. Defendant Michael Federigos had no legitimate purpose for filing the request for judicial notice in the second court. Right, because you're not a part of that case. So why would you do that? Defendant's purpose in filing the request for judicial notice was to harm all plaintiffs' reputations and to exert improper pressure. Yep, that's what I believe. However, only plaintiff Jeremy Hales was a party to this case. No other plaintiff was a party to this case. Oh, but hold on, hold the phone. We're going to go to the exhibit because I know for a fact my name's in it and so is Tug's. So good luck. You absolutely named us. You lying twit or twat. Either one works. What a liar. What a liar. Hang on. I'm going to change something in my audio settings. I think I can fix this. I am going to go to the audio and I'm going to switch it to just the microphone. No, that didn't work. Gosh darn it. It's still there. All right. Well, it's not voice mod. So that's something. That's really annoying. Okay. I know I sound fine to you guys. I just sound terrible to me. So I will take out one headphone and perhaps that will get better. Okay. No other plaintiff was a party to the case. No other party was a plaintiff. We weren't a party in the case, but you mentioned us in this filing to defame us. Okay. Anyway, number 11, plaintiffs allege defendant Leslie Federigos' original lawsuit was dismissed. We have a apostrophe problem here. There should be an apostrophe here. Federigos apostrophe. Plaintiffs allege that the original lawsuit was dismissed on July 17th. Defendant's lawsuit was voluntarily dismissed after receiving threats published on YouTube live streams and posts of the plaintiffs with an audience of over 730,000 members of the public. Well, what threats? Did she ever actually say what these alleged threats were? Because I don't think she did. And anyway, they didn't come from me, so what do I have to do with any of it? If some wacko online threatens you, that has nothing to do with me. Absolutely nothing. And you can't sue me for it. Sorry. And after attorney Randall Shockett called Leslie Federigos to threaten her with litigation if she did not turn over her communications with the defendants, Jeremy Hales was suing in the federal case among many other acts of extortion and threats that have continued to the present day. That is not extortion. That is a settlement. That is if you don't want to get sued, here's what you can do. Here's what you can do. We will take the communications. And I offered the same thing. If you don't want me to sue you, well, we can come to an agreement. We can come to a settlement. That is not extortion. That is a legal offer. And lawyers do it all the time. And she chose not to turn over those communications. She chose to be sued. And so that's exactly what we did. It would be extortion. It would be more, not extortion, because that's the wrong word. It would be, let's say, shadier if we did what Bruce did, which is to threaten a lawsuit if you don't do something and then you don't do it and he doesn't sue you. Just like he did to Shizzy, just like he did to Shara. He says, take down these videos or I'm going to sue you by 5 o'clock on Friday. And then you don't take down the videos and then he doesn't sue. That's a heck of a lot shadier than me saying, hi, I'm going to sue you. Here's how we could come to an amicable agreement, though, before I do that. And maybe I won't then. I need X, Y, and Z. And if you give me those things by 5 o'clock on this date, then I won't file my lawsuit. That is a settlement. And then when she decides not to give me X, Y, and Z, and I file the lawsuit, I did exactly what I said I was going to do. Didn't I? Mm-hmm. So that is not extortion. That is not extortion by any means. In fact, hold on. Let's ask Grok what Grok thinks. Hold on. Okay. Can an attorney offering to not sue?
All right, I'm back.
Oh,
Here
you're
we are.
back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, I was back for a minute and I forgot that I muted the onboard deck and my microphone too. So I was like, hey,
Whoops.
well, and I was like, wait a minute, I'm not speaking to anybody. What's going on? I had to, that's just more follow up with that stupid CPS stuff. And then I talked to the kids a couple of times, a couple of minutes too. They're over at grandma's. So,
Well, I was just asking Grok if there's any way that an attorney offering to settle before suing could be extortion.
No. That is not. It's absolutely. Remember when Bruce? Remember his statements that were pretty.
I think his were actually worse though, because he actually never followed through with what he said he was going to do. He said Shizzy was going to be sued by 5 o'clock on this date if he didn't take down videos. Well, he didn't take down. He took them down and then he put them back up. He never got sued. I think it's.
But he made statements to Jeremy Hales too. Some pretty. Some pretty heavy ones. We were like, damn, that's extortion. And it's like, no. That's that's part of me offering him some kind of settlement. I'm like, okay. But apparently that only flies one way.
Yeah, it's crazy.
One way. That's amazing. You have 100%. You turn over. If you don't, then. If you don't, then. And 100%, yes. You're out there, you're conspiring with these people. 100% you're conspiring with them. I mean, holy crap. Oh, it's amazing. It's also amazing, too, you realize there's phone records of everything, right? I hope they realize that, like in 11, where they're talking about calls and how that worked out.
Yes.
I hope they do realize that there are phone records.
Oh my Lord. I mean, it's just crazy. This is so crazy. This is so crazy. So she's claiming that because that Attorney Shockett called Leslie to threaten her with litigation if she did not turn over her communications with the defendants that Jeremy Hales was suing. That's really not how that works. It's not saying, I will sue you. He's saying, we have a lawsuit we could file against you. We have a case. But if you want to avoid the lawsuit, you could turn over some communications, which we find more valuable.
If then,
this is not extortion. It's not. Extortion is threats of bodily harm, mostly, according to federal law. And some states have different definitions, but
that's 100% not. It's funny, their own definitions, like it's not extortion unless somebody else says it to them, and then it's extortion.
Right, unless somebody says it to them, then it's extortion. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Do you want to put? I put mine up so I could move it around. Do you want to switch so you can move?
Sure.
There you go.
What? I was saying that was funny. Whoops. Oh man, I tell you, what sucks, man. I talked to the to the kids, and the oldest, you know, she knows that she's gonna have to talk to people, and she's nervous about. I'm like,
Oh,
don't be
poor
nervous with that.
thing.
She's stressed about. I'm like, man, fucking nasty. But I tell you, I swear to God, and I hope who did that. You know, they listen. I find out for sure who you are that did that. Then I'm gonna rain hell. If I don't find out, then I'm gonna assume they all did it, and I'm gonna rain hell down on them. I will. And they can quote me on that. And they can whine and cry and mope and missing me no tug. Yeah, I'm not the one who fucking sent people to try to remove my kids from a home. So yeah, I'm not the one stressing out a 11-year-old about
That's
some
really,
stuff.
it makes me so angry.
Yeah, well,
I
it
can't
makes
even
me
imagine.
vengeful, is what it makes me. I have a lot of free time on my hands. You know, my job now, it supplies me with that. And I swear to God, I will, instead of doing anything else, reading, whatever, I would just dedicate it to digging through people's lives. I will. And, you know, here's another thing, too. Some of these douchebags, what they don't understand there is, like, they're scamming and other things. I haven't really tried to exert myself. I've hoped that other people, that their own victims, they would come forward and they would make complaints to the police and more. But I guess I can work on that myself if I need to. And I'm feeling very motivated today. So, you know, I think next week, I think I either find out one or I just blame them all, you know, whichever. I don't care. However, it might make me feel better just to blame them all. By the way, today too, I did get just a note. I got some cool packages as well. They were appreciated. It was a good day to get them too. I got my 2 toilets for my. Oh my God! Let me show you this real fast before we go forward. Let me show you these. These are amazing. Okay, like I hate that these people would take away from our day. So you know the turtles that I've been talking about. I want like the flattish turtles. So I know for the game.
Yeah.
Check these out. Look, yeah, you're gonna have my toilets pop up in there too. Look at my little toilets.
Oh my
Aren't they
God.
awesome. Oh,
They're
that's
so good.
But look at these turtles, man. Like they're flat, and when you push on it, they have a little mouth that pops up with an inner mouth, little
that's
moving
fun.
eyes. Oh, they're awesome. They are awesome. You know, I don't the thing that they came in, I'm not sure who specifically sent these. Let me know, because I want to. Again, everybody that sends stuff, I appreciate it. You know, days like today when that stuff pops in, I appreciate that too. It was a good day for things to land. And there were a few boxes. I got some dollhouse furniture, which you have to put together. So I'm sure the girls will have fun with that. I'm going to have Lloyd's refrigerator.
So funny.
Look at that
So
thing
cute.
now. It's got
So
an inner
cute.
mouth.
So cute.
When you push it though, the whole like thing it flattens out. You know, you push on the flat part and its eyes roll up in its mouth and pops open. I love it. Let me bring that back up. I thought that was amazing though. Like whoever found that, you are a champ. You are indeed. Okay, so let's see. Number 12, we allege defendants filed to maintain original lawsuit without probable cause and with malice. However, there's nothing to substantiate. Really? Are you kidding me? Yeah.
How about her own words? Both paragraphs 12 and 13 are substantiated with her own words because she was recorded saying that she files lawsuits in order to have a public record of when she feels she's been wronged.
She also talked about her redirecting, you know, and wanting to damage people, doing SEO.
Right, SEO, and redirecting to websites that would defame us. And ma'am, you're cooked.
Yeah, you gave us a smorgasbord of and you know what? I'd said before that, you know, I would consider setting aside anything not suing before if She did. I don't care if she served up everybody on a silver platter. I don't give a shit. I'm walking this through
Oh yeah,
all
that
the way.
offer expired.
Oh yeah. Defendants used lawsuit. Plaintiffs alleged defendants used lawsuit for improper purposes. Quote, to make a oh my God. She is so fucked with this because she says
She said
this.
it.
I mean, we have her stating it.
Yep, we have
We
her.
will provide that to the court. You are an idiot for putting this in there.
Yep.
Because this gives us the ability to directly refute it. And oh my God, that's dumb. That's so dumb. You know? Yep. Damages. Oh, there's nothing to okay. Well, you bring garbage lawsuits, and that's what you get. You know. So on July 28th, that's represented by Randy Shockett, would file an amended complaint naming 5 plaintiffs. This amended complaint asserts 2 claims, yes, indeed, from each. Okay. Leslie Federico's filed her original lawsuit pro se. That's fun right there, isn't it? Because she filed. Remember the allegations of being a vexatious lawyer? She filed pro se. After being, again, you're trying to litigate a case. You've rolled back to that yet again. You're trying to relitigate something you dropped. That has nothing to do with anything. If you thought you had any grounds there,
you wouldn't have dropped it. You would have fought it out in court. We were willing to do that. Jeremy entered the case.
Yeah. I 100%. I said, you know, you're going to have to come and serve me. But
I said the same thing. I said, I'm going to make you pay to serve me, but go ahead and serve me. I'll answer the door. I'll take your lawsuit. Let's go. I'm just not going to make it easy for you and take email service. Jeremy, on the other hand, was like,
yeah, Jeremy was like, let's roll. Yeah. He was like, we're going, man.
Jeremy's like, absolutely. Anytime now. Yep.
Wait, are we just repeating? Let me see something. I want to look at something real quick. I'm just confused. I'm curious about something. So, are we just repeating lines here? Yeah. Because here's number 2, right?
Exactly
about us not being 17. 2 is the same as 17. It's just repeating.
So she's just copy pasting.
Yeah.
It's copy pasta.
Yeah, that's the same freaking thing. No, we never had that, blah, blah, blah. After defendants, you know, the amazing thing about this is that her doing this kind of stuff, she's been able to do it over and over and over to people. She's been able to file vexatious litigation, and she's never tangled with anybody that was willing to take it all the way. She hasn't until now. Now, again, you know, one of the things, this is what amazes me too. They complain about YouTube content, blah, blah, blah. They know the people they're dealing with. They know that we will take it all the way. They know we will cover every aspect of it. Yes, I will definitely talk about every aspect of it. I will talk about the person that brought it. You know, we didn't, by the way, we did not talk about Leslie until she started suing people. She was just she was a nobody. Like, why would I want to talk about her? You know, she didn't matter. And she knew that. That's why she started suing people, because she wanted the attention until she didn't. That always blows my mind.
She asked us to roast her.
Yes. And in the lawsuit that she filed, she puts in the stuff from the, you know, when she asks DJ Radis, for example, perfect prime thing. She asks him to roast her. After he makes comments, right after that, she included them in her original lawsuit. So she baited it. She baited that. But again, published non-public information. Non-public. What's non-public? What have we found that's non-public? Like, what exactly?
She claims that divorce stuff was non-public, but she's wrong.
It's right out there in the open. I mean,
she called the police. They investigated it, and they said there's no crime here. It's public record.
She's also talked about it in she's called the police and everything else on Michael and about internet and all this other crazy stuff. So, I mean, but harassment publications escalated following the lawsuit's filing. Oh, it's harassment, right? Publications.
Making fun of you for filing garbage lawsuits is not harassment. It is the First Amendment. It has a purpose. A purpose, just like Ricada was saying, it is legitimate public purpose to comment on a publicly filed lawsuit, even if that commentary is mockery. Too bad people think you look like a Muppet. That's too bad that you have big, inflated, scary-looking lips. That's your fault. We're allowed to comment on it. We're allowed to say that your lawsuit is garbage.
It blows my mind. Again, she's noted she filed lawsuits against us, and we commented on them. Oh my God. So she figured that she would be able to silence me. It's worked in the past. It has. Absolutely. It has worked in the past where people have just buckled down. They were afraid to deal with her. And we've seen the videos. We've seen the bully EXE bullshit, those videos. She's done that type of stuff to other people. Multiple people, by the way. It's not just one person, a one and done.
Lots of people. Tug, I'm going to pop out real quick and pop back in. I'm going to try and fix my microphone. It's doing something weird. I'll be right back.
No problem. But additionally, all plaintiffs publicized the lawsuit filed by the defendant against them during live streams, intending to intimidate. I love how they try to play this. Again, they are trying to relitigate, and they are trying to say she filed it. She actually tried to intimidate us. That's the amazing thing. Did you fix it?
No, it didn't fix.
I don't hear it.
It's happening in my ears. It's static, and I'm gonna have to like unplug stuff.
Is it a cord or something? Yeah,
probably. I think it's my headphones. It's always the headphones. And
I had to buy new ones. I had to buy new headphone cords. Those headphone cords suck.
They go so quickly. Like they degenerate so quickly.
Mm-hmm. Well, we put a lot of hours. To be fair, we put a lot of hours on some of these cords.
That's true.
But still, you expect like my mic cord. I think it cost $47 or something like that. For the cord going to my headphones. So I'd have a high quality one. To lose $50,
it sucks. Oh, I think I fixed it. I tightened the cord around. Nope, it's back. Never mind. Shit.
It may be the cord running your mic. I get popping in there if that thing is being a pain. The one that runs right into the microphone.
Yeah, that's what it is. I'm sure that's what it is, but it's driving me crazy.
So she says that we publicized the lawsuit against her. We're allowed to, or not against her, but rather the lawsuit against us. She files a lawsuit. We talk about it. Oh my God. But us talking about it, it's actually meant to intimidate.
Oh, a bunch of liars.
These broadcasts contain false depictions of the events. False depictions of the events.
I like this part. And solicited donations from viewers. Hey, guess what, guys? We're doing it again. We're publicizing another piece of shit that she filed. Please send donations because it's funny. And it makes her scream and yell.
Apparently, that is the worst thing ever with these people. The one thing that speaks the loudest is people backing something. So, yes.
If it causes her to say stupid things in front of a judge.
So you continue, and much appreciated, by the way. Soliciting donations, yes. Breadsticks.
Breadstick money. And look, I like this. Resulting in extreme harassment. What? I'm going to need a citation.
Again, you're trying to relitigate a case you dropped twice.
Yeah, it couldn't have been that extreme.
And she was trying to harass us with it. She kept saying, if you do anything that I don't like, then I can file this up to 2 years later, and a judge is going to be very angry with you. If I do, if I refi, it's like, oh no.
Did I, by the way, Lips, did I buy a website with your name on it and redirect it to a defamatory website about you? Oh, no, you did that to me. That's right. That's so weird.
So
She can't even
bizarre,
give
man.
one example of harassment. Not even one.
No, that's why their freaking lawsuits get kicked to the curb so often. Because they file shotgun garbage pleadings. I mean, it's been something. The plaintiffs all took initiative in publishing in front of. Do you have 730,000 subscribers?
No, I don't.
I don't have 730. That's weird. That's weird. And any action of taking judicial notice of such lawsuit was done secondarily to the publication of the lawsuits done by all plaintiffs on their own.
What? No, that's not true. That timeline is off. So the judicial notice that she filed was before we sued her. She filed that judicial notice in Jeremy's lawsuits.
Yes.
In several of them. That was before we filed suit against her. She's totally wrong on this timeline. And where she says additionally only Jeremy Hales was party to the federal case where the complaint was filed as a notice and no other plaintiff was named party. We weren't named as a party, but we were named in her filing.
Yes.
We were
you
in
put
that
us in
thing.
your filing. Yes. So you put us into all these other cases where you defamed us. You defamed us in federal court. You defamed us in state court. You defamed us in the protective orders.
Yep.
Multiple states. That's right.
2 states and federal court. Yep.
So yeah, I mean that's a terrible argument. You're totally right in that. So on July 17th, Randy Shockett allegedly makes verbal threats, demanding they turn over communications.
I feel like I read this already.
Yeah, I know that's the same thing there. Due to intimidation, threats, harassment, and refusal to turn over those. She voluntarily dismissed her pending lawsuit and took measures to block all contact and communication. We've never had communication at all, lady.
No, I've never talked to her. I've only communicated with someone who claimed to be her husband.
She has, however. She kept writing. What's crazy is she kept writing Jeremy Hales. She would write him periodically. He also, weirdly enough, she leaves out the weird little thing where she was involved in email. You remember that email exchange where Bruce wrote the bar about Randy?
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
She was part of that. And she was communicating with everybody in that. They decided to include, instead of like replying to Bruce or whomever, they were replying all. They were adding us all to stuff.
I never communicated with her. I ignored all of her attempts to communicate with me.
You all laughed at anything that I saw, but I had no direct communications. Again, they didn't even bother. They just tried to throw me into litigation without following any rules. And she knows better. She is, or was, I will say rather, a lawyer and is still operating, according to her, under someone else's license. So she should know better.
Yep.
However, shortly after this current lawsuit was filed, it's now being used for Content Weekly. Weekly? What up? I'll bring it up every day if you'd like.
What is this weekly shit?
They put a countdown on us, though. Over on 2XLs. They did. They put a countdown on how we would owe them money. You remember that?
Yes, I do remember that. I don't know why I haven't gotten a bill yet.
Yeah, I'm still waiting on that. Finally. We got
also, if you notice, they have not filed their motion for sanctions. So the 21 days came and went. They didn't file the motion for sanctions because they were told by our attorney, if you do that, we'll file ours. So he hasn't done it, you notice.
Are you going to answer the request for vexatious, by the way? Are they going to get around to answering that? I'm curious because That right there would be something I really want to see their answer to. I would love to see them describe how somehow in some way her bringing litigation over and over and over again the way she has after she had been permanently retired, how that's somehow not that. So in order to satisfy the elements, blah, blah, blah needs to tag. Again, we can go through all of this when we read through. They're trying to say we don't satisfy the requirements in order to, again, they want to play the, yeah, sure, we did it, but it's not actually malicious prosecution because, see, that's the beautiful thing about people like this. Garbage. They want to file garbage lawsuits. They want to do it to people over and over again. And they figure that they can hide behind the color of law. They can allow them to do it. So they're talking about, again, the 4 elements of malicious prosecution, how.
Oh, I can't wait for Randy's response to this.
Oh, God, it'll be
His
fun.
response is going to be epic.
And then they're like, oh, I'm an attorney. I'm Michael. I'm an attorney. You can't bring anything against me. Yeah, it's going to be interesting to bring up all of those other cases. I wonder if there's a way to work in the some of those orders against you. Some of the stuff that you filed.
Yep. I got plenty of them. I got plenty of them.
Oh my God, some of them are just hammers being dropped.
Especially that one order by the judge that's like, I don't know, 16 pages long or 30 pages long. It's so great.
I will review all of these though when I get around to it. I just, like I said, I'm not tonight.
Yeah, we're already 2.5 hours in, but this is great.
It's amazing stuff though. You know.
I like 31. I like 31. Plaintiffs failed to allege they suffered damages when 2 of the plaintiffs were never served with the defendant's lawsuit, and defendants took measures to seal the lawsuit from public records, while the plaintiffs chose to publish the defendant's lawsuit on their YouTube channels for the public to view. You know what? Didn't the Fleabags read the lawsuit on their channel?
Actually it was Stupid Dave that read it first. He had it before it hit because we didn't think it was real.
He had it before it was even filed.
Yes.
So you gave this lawsuit, you claim you wanted sealed, to your mouthpiece.
No. It's not just that. They say, again, they want it sealed, right? But they put it in how many other pieces of litigation? How many other courts did they shove it in front of? So how would that work? And they have it referenced by other people. And again, 2 L's, own responses. She references this, which I thought was amazing, by the way. What an epic screw up, because she's referencing something that doesn't exist anymore. She used that. It furthers the idea that these people conspired, to ruin Jeremy Hale. That being thrown into a court period, and then she's referencing it.
Look at paragraph 33. This is hilarious. Claims should be dismissed against defendants because of Florida litigation privilege. Now, listen to this next sentence. It's not a sentence. This was a bad copy paste job. The Florida Supreme Court in Levin, Middlebrooks, Maybe, Thomas, Mays, and Mitchell, all these citations, has unequivocally held that it does, period.
That it does.
That it does what?
That what does?
What does it do?
That it does.
The Florida Supreme Court has held that it does. Does what?
I'm glad to know that
the
it
Macarena? Does the Florida Supreme Court do the Macarena? What does it do? This is a bad copy paste job. Look at this.
That's amazing. Oh my God.
This argument they're trying to make. The Florida Supreme Court held that absolute immunity must be afforded to any act occurring during the course of a judicial proceeding. Is that on behalf of the judge? Because you don't get immunity. The lawyers don't get immunity.
You don't get immunity for break. That's why you have all these rules for vexatious litigation and more. What does that even mean?
This is about judges. I guarantee it, because the only people who get absolute immunity are judges. I'm going to look this up right now. She's just freaking lying. She is misrepresenting the law.
This is all of it. Why is this? You notice this right here, the green square in number 35 from the this is part of a copy paste job. They copied in like a symbol, and
Oh my
look
God.
at
Wouldn't
that.
it be funny if some of these things were AI hallucinated cases?
Oh my God. We need to go through and see if
We need
there's
to look them all up.
anything. Yes, everything. And people, if you would like to help with that and would like to look through, this will be
Oh
this will be
yeah,
out there
that's
soon.
637.
Yeah, see that?
Weird.
That's
Uh-huh.
that's I believe that's probably part of a copy paste job. They took it from
Uh-huh.
something and just threw it in there. No. Oh my God, that's funny. Trial court could grant law firms and attorneys motion to dismiss on the basis of litigation privilege. Oh my God. 1 second. These people are nuts, man. You
Mm-hmm.
know? Litigation privilege. Litigation
This is
privilege
about
protects statements and documents.
yeah, it's about like what Luthman's always talking about, where he thinks
Yeah.
litigation
Or you can
privilege
say
protects him
something,
outside
whatever.
of court, and and she's going to rely on the fact that you can say defamatory things in lawsuits, but we haven't argued that you can't. What we're arguing is you can't just file a lawsuit for the sole purpose of public relations and having no desire or intention to follow through or have anyone served, or actually it's just for your own PR.
That is the epitome of filing vexatious litigation. You know, I mean, that is exactly what you're talking about there. They're filing something just because she wants a placeholder people can refer to. That is the epitome of defamation. When people look up a lawsuit, even though it's been dropped, but they see that people have been sued by a certain person. Like what she talked about there, that is not within the scope or color of law. That is flagrant misuse of litigation.
Yep.
She admitted to it. It's crazy that she admitted to it. And they're trying to claim that she never did, which is fine. I would love the opportunity to put that into a court filing. You know, I'm glad that they offered that to us. I mean, really, I wouldn't think they would be stupid enough to do that. But I mean, again, what do I know, right?
Yeah. What do we know?
I mean, it's amazing.
I am willing to let the courts figure this out, because I think that she's wrong. I think that we are right, and I think that she has proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that she is a vexatious litigant based on her entire history, which we have found and which we can use.
Which there's more than we've quoted. That's the thing too. There's more that falls in to to the time frame that applies there. I mean, we listed enough lawsuits that it showcased. And again, when you look at what she has brought against people, what she has done with them, it 100% proves what we're saying. I love the fact that she wants to argue something that it's not the point of the lawsuit at all. That's beautiful. God,
this is so funny.
It is. It's great.
So I'm going to look into that case because I want to know exactly what it's talking about, because I guarantee you that it's not the way they're using it. It just isn't. It can't be. And so this is it. This is the end.
So they request. They're like, yeah. And then she adds, for some unknown reason, she decides that they need to add in where she was retired.
Yeah, this doesn't even, so she doesn't even say why. She never addresses that this is here or why it's here. So the court's going to ignore it completely.
It just blows my mind that this stuff pops up here. And I mean, there's no reason.
There's no reason for this.
But what it does say is that she was she was removed. She she chooses. Now, are we going to pretend that she just chose it out of nothing?
Wait, you know what's
Failure?
weird? She attached the wrong thing. She says at the top of this that she attached the thing that she filed for judicial notice, but she didn't attach that. Instead, she attached the stupid stuff, the thing from the bar.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
This is supposed to be
She
the
did.
judicial notice? Oh,
Yes.
oh
Hold
my
on, I'm
God.
going to find it because
These people, man.
number 10, paragraph 10.
Okay.
I think. Let's see. Filed a request for judicial notice of the original lawsuit. Second, a copy being attached. She didn't attach it.
So instead, she attached the fact that, oh my God, she just told the court that she is a permanently retired lawyer that was forced to retire.
Yeah. And she never even says in here that anything about that. And why would she do this?
Why in the world?
I was
That's
expecting to see
amazing.
the judicial notice, but she didn't attach it. Instead, she just told on herself about what a bad lawyer she is, how she's a failed lawyer.
That's absolutely amazing.
That is beautiful.
I'm proud of her. I mean, it takes a special something to be able to mess up like that. You know?
Yes, it does.
All right. I think I'm gonna hit super chats. We again, we will definitely go over this thing with a fine tooth comb. If there's more that has been filed today. Like I said, there was an answer to Lisa. There was an answer to Ray, and some of that stuff is pretty fun to read. But this one just dropped on us while we were in here.
Good Lord.
God, I can't believe she threw this. I mean, look at this document. Actually, 1 second. Look at the end stuff, like this letter she attaches from the Florida bar. This is from 2024. Letter is in response to your inquiry regarding your discipline history with the Florida bar. You were admitted 2017. You are currently ineligible to practice law in Florida because you were permanently retired. Also, look, she here's the other discipline. She was publicly reprimanded. So, wow. So this has happened to her in 2021. Public man. Is that we should look up that case number and say file number and see what's attached to that. Just
Oh yeah, she was reprimanded and she had
a
bunch of stuff happen. She
Oh
had a bunch
God,
of stuff happen.
that one case we were talking about, you know, that we read parts from. Lord, that case, which is crazy. It was beyond crazy. Anyway, I'm gonna hit some super chats. You chilling or you out of here?
If you don't need me, I need to go and make sure that the little one is in bed. He was supposed to be put to bed. Okay. All right. Oh God, I had the cursor on the wrong button. I almost did it.
Oh my God, if you would have cut this off, I would have.
No, I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna close the window. That'll do it.
Yeah, that's what I do now. I do not, because I'm paranoid about hitting it.
Me too. It's the stupid red buttons. They shouldn't all be the same color. The exit studio should not be the same color as the end stream.
You don't have the ability to end people's streams normally, too. So it's a weird thing.
It is a weird thing. I know. I'm not going to touch the buttons. Don't worry.
Oh, look, I'm in the rain now. I'm like, oh, the freedom. The freedom. Folks, I appreciate you all, folks, too. Even, you know, when I was talking about the police thing, too, to the super chatter, I hope you did not take that personally either. You know, never take anything. If we're talking about something, even if I'm like, oh my God, no, that is not directed at you. It's directed at the idea. So appreciate you. Andre, by the way, sent 50 bucks through Venmo. Thank you. Since my poodles love Buck's voice, they come running when they hear her. I wish she could, you know, again for today, because of everything, she was not here. But they'll have some fun, later on. And also, Sheila sent 10 and said, absolutely wish child didn't have to deal with this again. Yes, I think that's awful. It is. It's awful that people do this kind of stuff, but it's the reality. It's also the reality of YouTube. Unfortunately, this is what it. When people are like, "Hey, what's it like to do YouTube? What would you tell people?" And the first thing I tell a lot of people, I told like Jay, for example, I was like, man, you're getting some attention. You need to call and make sure you're safe. You need to make sure of all of this or that. And that's a terrible conversation because nobody should ever be told that because you pick up the microphone and you attach your voice to it, that somebody might try to ruin your life. That's crazy, isn't it? What other job could you do where people could do this and do it with impunity? It's worse than politics. I mean, it's just amazing. Now, Max Lab kicked it off. Thank you for the super chat there. And thank you for everything you do, too, Max Lab. It's been over. We didn't finish all the Preston statements either today. I definitely want to cover all of those. And thank you for people. Also, she deleted some commentary. She one of the things I didn't even get to is the fact that, and I'm glad people screenshot this stuff because you'll notice. Give me a second here. I gotta find something actually. Just give me a moment. Gosh. She actually deleted a couple of comments, and it's kind of amazing. Like when you look through, she's giving you an incomplete record of everything she's posting. She's saying that she's showcasing everything. She's not removing anything, blah, blah, blah. But then when you go in, you find that she is. You absolutely find that she is. Let me see. I think I've got, here it is. Give me one second. I'm situating this. So somebody talked to her about the allegation thing. And they were like, you said all these things. And now you're saying this. Why, do you understand what you've done? She's like, I've done nothing ever. I've done nothing. And she deletes these comments, and some of them are crazy. And again, as I've said, I'm not the one making this statement like she does. She makes some pretty alarming statements sometimes. Give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second. I'll go to mute. 1 minute. Sorry about that. I get phone calls still about the freaking mess that has happened today. Again, just absolute lunacy. Mopar Mama, thanks for the 2 there. We have animal control. It's called buzzards. That's true, actually, out in the country. That is very true. Kirby, thanks for the month there. Megan, you have to send a garbage bag. That's true. She could have put that over the roadkill. That would have just taken care of everything. You're right. You're right. I don't know why she didn't. She could have put it over the head, picked it up herself with the other one. Yeah. She could have taken hundreds of those and just wrapped it around and around. That would have been amazing too. Fallen Hero, thank you for dropping a gifted membership as well. Thank you, my friend. Much appreciated there. Like I said, my phone keeps. There's been a couple of conversation stuff again. Oh, it's caused disruption to the. If I get a call, a lot of times they're related to the girls. Again, and most of this stuff, as I've said, like a lot of this stuff, I don't talk to them about what we talk about online. It's not, frankly, there's no point in that. That's one of the things that really bothers me with these lunatics. They talk about, discussing these things with kids, but like tomorrow, you have to discuss some of it with them. So, anyway. Rach, thanks for the 2 there. Sorry, Tuglet, someone's doing this. I hate it. Just these people are nuts like that. What's up, Dan? See, this is good stuff right here. Dan, thank you for the 2. Today is my sister's 61st birthday. Well, our 64th. I said 61st. 64th. Let me get the birthday song. We need it. We need some birthday song today. Let's bust it out. Here we go.
Happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday.
From both of us to you. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
May all your dreams come true. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
We love to have you here. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Here's to another year.
I love it. Let me throw a little bit of happy birthday out there too. Gary, what's up, Gary? Let me give you a little bit of the short arm dance. Let me throw this one to you as well. Happy birthday from all of us to you, short arms. Happy birthday. May all your dreams come true. Happy birthday to you, Gary. Happy birthday, Dan's sister. I'm not sure what her name is. She will be further known as Dan's sister. Thank you, my friend. Tizzy. Thank you. Tizzy da Bounce. I like that. Thank you for the gift, though. I appreciate that. That is awesome, too. Thank you. Auntie M, thanks for the 20 to pin off that POS. Indeed. Indeed. And thank you. That is much appreciated. Joan, thanks for the 20 there. For the girls and dad day. Well, I appreciate that. We like I said, tomorrow, that's probably we will it all cuts into their school time and everything else too. That's the wild thing. Like, because you can't sit down and be like, yeah, let's concentrate on this. So Wishful Sheeta, thanks for the 13 months. Thank you there. Year plus. Thank you. So sorry the girls going through that. It's despicable. It's somehow almost unsurprising that people's stupid as so low. Much love to you and the girls. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not surprised by it. It's actually it's wild to note that every subject you cover, this is a go-to that people have. It is. It has been a go-to. We've had this happen multiple times, and it's gross. It is. It's also a waste. It takes away resources from people that need that. Crap, I got another call. I've got to mute one more time. I'm sorry. Hey, sorry about that again. That might happen a few times. I don't know. So I apologize for that. Doubting Tom, thanks for the 50 there. Appreciate that. Retail therapy for Tug and the Tuglets. Thank you. That's much appreciated. Jack's mom, thanks for the 2 there. Did they prosecute false callers when it's obvious? No, typically not. Typically not. Did Tug mute himself? Yes. I muted myself because I'm getting phone calls. Like they're related to this. A couple of them have been kid related. Again, the kids weren't originally going to stay with their grandmother, but after everything, I asked them if they wanted to, and they were like, "Of course, it's their grandma. They of course like it." But we have school stuff and everything else that we're supposed to do tomorrow. But So with the kids, like if I get a call that relates to their numbers or anything, I always check it. It's live. So typically I don't have to mute out, but with everything that's going on today, I'm definitely making sure it's there. But do they prosecute false? No. No. They rarely. I mean, it could potentially happen, yes. But they rarely investigate. In fact, one of the things that you learn from things that happen online is that they don't put in any type of effort to investigate erroneous or false claims. They will investigate to the point that they determine that they are erroneous or false claims, but they don't investigate further than that. So it's a mess. It is. And as far as in that system being in place, it allows it to continue like that. So, okay, Matt Redmond, thanks for the 10. One joy time to make some smiles. Yeah, thank you. We'll have, like I said, we'll have some fun tomorrow. But we got to put this to bed first. So, Inspire, thanks for the 5 months. Love to you and the kiddos too. Thank you. I appreciate that. And one of the reasons I bring this stuff up too, these people like to operate like this in the dark. They like to harass people. It's just like the lawsuits and other bullshit that these people have pulled, with vexatious garbage. It's meant to harass. And a lot of people deal with it in the dark. They're afraid if they talk about it, that it will lead to more. But huddling and dealing with it in the dark does not help. It doesn't. I think when you talk about it and you point out how gross and awful, and you point out how despicable and low some of these people go, it's telling. Sofa King, I love that. By the way, the old Aqua Teen joke, the Sofa King. I love that. I love that joke. By the way, that's amazing. That is a great name. But thank you too. Dropped 80 there. Thank you. You're treating the kids to whatever makes them happy. Thank you. I appreciate that very much. Now, also, like I said, I love the name there. I think about the Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Like that's, I really hope you're referencing when you're doing it. You can be referencing anything, but I think the Aqua Teens really brought that into the limelight back in the day. And God, I hope you're referencing that because I love the Aqua Teens from back when. And now, thanks for the 10 towards something fun with your daughters. Well, thank you. That is awesome of you. Much appreciated too. I'll probably get them some, like a book or do something, a lot of fun there. In stream, talk to the kid. No, Jan. The kids, am I supposed to call them at 10 o'clock and be like, hey, by the way, we should talk about this CPS thing? No, that's not. We already had our call. And afterwards, again, they'll get a hold of a phone. Again, you have no idea what you're talking about there. You don't. You have no idea there. Rira, thanks for the 30 months. Appreciate that. Sorry, Tug. Don't need this. Yeah, again, it's wrong. It is. My package, P.O. Box, is at the P.O. Box. Cool. Some little gifts to the Tuglets included. What makes you smile? Good soul, love my soul. Yeah, I appreciate that. I don't mean that rudely either. I'm just what I said there. Again, I check any call that comes from specific numbers, and typically you all don't get to know that, but I'm by myself right now. So it's the same reason we get raids, because again, I'm a parent that I raise my kids mostly solo. So yeah, I mean, that's something, again, I don't think a lot of people realize, when you hear the kids and stuff, it's because I raised them mostly on my own. So that's it. Thanks to the 5 there. False reports that are clearly false should be required to tell the name of the person who made a false report. It would cut down on false reporting. Yes, it should be, especially with CPS. That's one of the problems. Like, there's so many laws, and I get why there are, to shield, because it keeps retaliation down. No, because you could have family members that report or more, but at the same time, it allows so much misuse too, you know, clearly. Man, for some reason, the brand new super chat, I see super chats roll in still, and I think I'm gonna have to pull them up on the YouTube thing after this. So let me see if they start showing. That's weird. Yeah, in CPS anonymity, yes, indeed. You know, you should be able to. Again, I should be able to pull them up just like a police report. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna have to pull these up through my YouTube analytics thing. Give me 1 minute. It's being weird. And again, I appreciate y'all. I just it blows my mind that you deal with this stupid. You deal with some crazy people, and that's what happens when you're online. Period. You know, it is part of it. And what other job would you deal with something like this? I mean, what other job would you tell a person? Again, this is what you should expect from it. Hey, by the way, you like being online? You want to talk about something and reach a massive audience? Well, here's what's going to come with it. Val, thanks for the 9 months there. Well, you did make fun of it. Well. K-Bad, thanks for the 5 there. There should be at least fines for the person who's making false reports. Yeah, there should. You know, when the problem becomes, though, the reason they don't do that is because just because something isn't substantiated doesn't necessarily mean it's false. So they're afraid that they will cut down on reports if that happens. You know, that's the reason that comes up. It's so weird. Give me a minute here. This stupid thing is not one to. There we go. Ha ha. I got around it. All right. So, sorry, my super chat just ended on the one thing. I had to pull it up on another window, but I got it now. Appreciate you. I'm celebrating. You have no idea why. Cynic and Chief, thanks for 5. Not just you, Tuck. All you thugs, be ready to make life difficult forever this is. For now, continue exposing the misdeeds of these clowns. Well, thank you, Cynic. Yes, indeed. That's the thing. If they want to lean on people and they think that they can be nasty, but all this does is it exposes them. It absolutely exposes them to, and I don't think they'll like what comes of that when people start looking into them. So Tammy, thanks for the 2. Love to the girls. Hot topic and candy money. Indeed. Indeed. Hot topic. Taz, thanks for the 5. Tag, sorry, you and the girls deal with this again. Katie trial over it. Yeah, I mean, well, it's like this. The first time we ever dealt with crazy was, I believe, the first, I can't remember, the first call I think we got was in 2019. It was back when. That's one of the reasons when people were like, Ricada law, everything that happened with him. You know, why don't you just denounce and blah, blah, blah? Because the first time I ever had a problem with this, I brought it up privately to Ricada law because it was very stressful. You know, you get a false call, you don't know how to deal with it. And he put me in contact with Ty Beard. And Ty Beard's a lawyer, and Ty Beard's a Texas lawyer. And Ty was like, "It's a bunch of bullshit. I'll definitely communicate." And this is back when I also, not only did I not know how to deal with it, but I didn't really have the resources to deal with something. You know, I mean, it's not like you have the resources to do anything anyway. You know, most of the time, but I definitely didn't then, you know, and they not only helped me, but Ty was like, I'll do it because, and I very much appreciated that. So anytime that comes up, that's one thing I always remember. The Floofy, thanks for the 5. The Floofy one. Who must be obeyed? Hopes that the idiots that did this to you suffer the effects of living in interesting times. Indeed. Tug's chai fun. And thank you for that. I appreciate it. Yeah, I sound like I need a chai tea, don't I? My voice keeps dying out. Taz, drop that membership, Taz. What's up, by the way? Appreciate you, Taz. Thank you. Welcome. Thank you for the membership. Welcome to Tugs. Thugs. Appreciate you there. Gordon Witt, what's up? How you doing, by the way? Thank you for the 50. That's much appreciated. Something to brighten a girl's day. The sicko did this is child abuser. Indeed. That is. That's exactly what it is. And it's government sanctioned because they'd have no way of preventing it. And again, that's not on the people who came. I mean, they were nice. They were trying to do, I believe a lot of those people get into that to try to do good. I do. And unfortunately, those resources that should be pointed somewhere else are wasted. Like how much, again, 2 people, they have to arrive, How much resources wasted in that? How much are these people's salaries? They have to, again, go in, and that's prioritized over whatever else. It's just lunacy. Iron Rabbit, thanks for the 11 months there. Sorry you're going through this. Send it prayers. Appreciate that. Thank you. The Floofy, thanks for the 2 there. The Floofy want Bung to know they're with her. Well, thank you. That is, she doesn't understand this stuff. She doesn't get it at all. The littlest one, she didn't get any of this stuff, She doesn't get anything that's happened for a while. She is the nicest, most positive kid I've ever seen. She's always positive. And luckily, nothing diminishes that. I'm glad, she rolls through everything. Like I said, she is, and the oldest is probably one of the nicest people I know. And I mean that not just as a kid or a kid compliment. I mean that is like she goes out of it. This is something she does. She'll see random people and she compliments them. She'll be like, "Oh, I really love your hair. It looks so great today. Or I love your outfit. I can tell that you spent so much time thinking about that." And she does it. When we go out, she'll do that to random people to try to make them feel better on their day. And she's like, "I do that because it makes me feel good when people compliment me." I'm like, "Oh, that's really nice." Most people don't even think about doing something like that. But Sheila, thanks for the 20 there, Tug. They say it takes a village to raise kids. Well, you have a community, not just a village. Indeed. It is much appreciated. I do. One of the things I tell my oldest, she talks about wanting to live stream when she gets older, And I'm like, well, you already have an army of people that know you, so you have that leg up, You can cover whatever. you can cover, if you find stuff like I do later on, covering court cases. That's how they understand it. I cover court cases. If they find that good, then they can continue with it, or they can do whatever. But yeah, it's fascinating that they could just continue on. CT, thanks for the 2. Again, we addressed that. And again, CT, love to you too. Just because my opinion may differ on that too. That is not toward you. I appreciate you. Vanessa, thanks for the 10 there, Tom. Remember last year when Lovebug called the police? Yeah, she was adorable. Get mad. I wouldn't get mad. With that too, that I figure anything a kid manages to do as well, just to note, that's a reflection on a parent. Like for me, I didn't think about the phone. Even when you lock a phone on the front, you can push over and dial emergency services. I'd never thought about that before. So that was totally on me. It's not on a little one there. That's if anything comes up, again, you can tell them, no, you don't need to do that, and explain the gravity of it. And she learns and doesn't do stuff. But yeah, I think the mindset of a good parent is, how did I allow this situation to happen. So with that, where she called. Now, again, like a situation like this, you can't prevent some random jackass from doing stuff like this. These are people just trying to remove your voice. And you never let a person silence you. So, Travis, thanks for 23 months. Thank you, Travis, buddy. Appreciate you. All my kids were given to their mothers just because in Texas, that's how they unfortunately do things. Even after I've changed my life and straightened up. Indeed, I mean, that is an unfortunate reality. You think about this too. I have had my kids for a while. So in the situation, that's not typical for a father to have that because there was a lot going on. But I want to, again, when I'm saying that, I'm not trying to in any way say anything ill about their mom. She had a substance issue and she needed to fix that in her life. That is not a negative comment about her in any way, shape, or form, But until somebody works on themselves, they can't be there for kid. But she did. And after that, again, she's had a positive relationship with the kids, and she started having a problem because substance issues are rough, and she went back to rehab. So, with that, again, I know that like this stuff, it's so weird. One thing I hate about these people too, and I'll never forgive them for, is to put you in a position where you don't really have to talk about some of that, but you do in a way too, to make it make sense, because people hear things and they come up with their own head canon about how shit plays out, and unfortunately, that stuff, I mean, God, these people are just gross. Like I said, I won't forget them for sure. Share. Thank you for the month. There's not a statement, but that is in and of itself a statement. Thank you. Max Lab, yes, indeed. The Randy Fed 2 documents, yes. We've got those pulled for the 2L and the other one, but the one of them is like 30 something pages long, and they're good, and they're actually good. So I appreciate you noting that. I don't want to give them a half-ass read today. Writer Chick, thanks for the 15 months. Appreciate it. Hashtag Tugs Thugs for life. I've been where you are, and you're calmer than I was. Well, I understand that. I've been here a few times, unfortunately. Sending love to you and the girls. Remember, we're all family in your life. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, very much so. Rogue Mama dropped 2. Read. Indeed. Patrick, thanks for the 5. Megan saying, can we read it? It'll be fast. Just like see what you say. Come on. Don't know. Yeah, the reading fast doesn't happen, does it? It never happens. Fair for all. Thanks for the 20 there to show these awful people their tactics and raise funds for Doug. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Fair for all. Sally dropped a $50 super sticker. That's amazing. Thank you, by the way. That is much appreciated. On top of that, I don't know why it colored it orange. That's very weird. It should be red. I don't know why it did that. It's very strange. Travis, thanks for that. Damn, Tuck. I'm going to be in court more than me nowadays. Indeed. I hope the girls don't get traumatized from these idiots. They won't. I mean, a lot of it's shielding the kids from they're stupid too. I mean, that's a big part of it as well, for sure. Emmy, thanks for the 20 there and the love. That is much appreciated. Thank you, Emmy. Tinsel dropped a hundo there. Thank you. Just because I want to. Sue me. Indeed. And that's appreciated. Like I say, I mean that too. When I tell people I appreciate, I do. I appreciate you all being here. I appreciate you all, everything you all do. It's amazing. And I don't even know what to say someday. It's Rhea Raya. Thanks for the 2 there. Mods, have your back, Tuck. Much love to our boss. Indeed. The mods, by the way, much love to you guys. I appreciate it. You keep all these nasty jackasses, these jackals, some of these people, they pop in, they try all kinds of stuff, and I appreciate it. I appreciate you keeping it away. Thomas. My father had custody of my brother and I in the first grade. My mother had a drinking problem. Eventually, she got sober, stayed sober for a little over 30 years. Yeah, indeed. I mean, that's the way it should be, you know. Hey, they get a legal rib. I have a lawyer. I do. They set up everything. You know, the thing is, like when you have a questioning with CPS is different than sitting down with the police. It's very much a different case. So like you have somebody, you make them aware that you do have a lawyer, but also you make it very way. I mean, you're not hiding anything, right? So it's a delicate dance because again, CPS has the most power of any institution out there. Like they can do things just bam. So you walk a tightrope with it. But yes, I definitely have a lawyer. That is 100%. You know, it is 100%. I don't do these things. I've never dealt with it. I think I've ever dealt with them. I think I had a follow-up to close out a case one time that I had some documents dropped off. Maybe I didn't have a lawyer on the phone with that one, you know. But besides that, I've always had one. But yeah, that's good advice. Always do. Everybody, you should always have a lawyer when dealing with any kind of authority. You should have them, you know, discussing things or whatever. And you should record. Even if people tell you not to, you always record. You do 100% because you want to make sure, like for posterity, they'll tell you, like whether the police or whomever, they'll tell you they usually don't want you to, but it doesn't matter what they say. You record. You always record. You may have to stealth record. You know, you can use like an indoor cam or whatever app on your phone, but always record too. Sandra, thank you for the gifted membership. Thank you very much for that. I appreciate you. Andre, thanks for the 2 there. Lips need straight jackets, and yeah, they do. They need to be put away sometimes, I think, in my opinion. I think they need some of what they note to be called out for sure. Vanessa, thanks for that. We're here for your tongue. Bring the hammer down, indeed. Sending love to Bug and love. Well, thank you. That's much appreciated too. Diane, thanks for the 2 there. There's not a statement, but that is a statement. Thank you. Terry, thanks for the 2 there. Jackie. Oh, so Jackie is sent the turtles. Those are awesome, by the way, Jackie. I love those freaking turtles. They are amazing. They're cool. They're creepy in their own. I mean, they're not like in a bad way, but they have like that inner jaw. It reminds me of, you know, the xenomorph from Aliens. That's how those little turtle mouths remind me. They're amazing. I love them. They're awesome. I love them I can't even tell you. I was messing with them all day. I love them. Oh yeah, thanks for the 2. Did you get the trash and the tools and the FedEx box? I have not gotten a FedEx box yet. I've gotten some stuff. Let me see. I'll pull everything together and let you know exactly what's there. Again, I'm distractible a bit today. I probably can't give you a good inventory on everything that I picked up. I think my mind's, you know, it's all over the place a bit there. So, oh man, is it Rebel's birthday? Is it your birthday, Rebel? For real? I didn't realize that. Let me give you I see some people mentioning that. I appreciate you, Rebel. For real. I want to give Rebel some love there for sure. Rebel does great stuff. Rebel's always there if you need something. So, Rebel, props to you. I'm giving you the birthday song.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
From both of us to you. Happy birthday! May all your dreams come true. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
We love to have you here. Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Here's to another year.
Thank you, Rebel. Again, appreciate the heck out of you for sure. Again, give Rebel some love out there too. Now, the other super chats will not come up on the screen, but I'm going to read them. I apologize for the way I'm going to do this, but they're I'm having to read them off of another. It stopped at a certain level, but I'm still seeing them, so I'm going to read them. Okay, but apologies again. I like to put them up on the screen too. Cynthia, thanks for the 10 there. How's this? That's great. Thank you. Much appreciated. AKA the cat lady, thanks for the 5. It is not a donation. We pay as thanks for the entertainment information. Yes, indeed. We're not donating to any. That's true too. You know, when they're bringing that up, when they're saying that people are donating, that's indeed correct. You're not what donation? Like, what are you supposedly donating to? You're not donating to anything. You enjoy something and you subscribe to it if you like, or you support it. I mean, it's like any other endeavor. Yeah, these people, that is a good statement. That is a good clarity on that. William, thanks for the 5. The problem with the good car argument is the good ones don't police their own. It makes them just as bad. Yeah, I mean, that's one of the things you run into. You know, again, I've had some very bad interactions, you know, and it definitely, it's definitely a way. Well, and again, we have that situation I talked about a little bit in live stream where our DA here was out in another county. Like he ended up getting arrested for opening fire on a vehicle with some bad people, mind you. They were bad people, but he opened fire in a residential area, and there were multiple complaints about like the danger there. Bullets went through somebody's residence, and in that, I would really like to see that covered nationwide. If I, however, am the person that breaks that story open and I cover it, and they will retaliate. Very much so. So that is a problem with the good. Yeah. I know very much how that will go, and it would be very nasty. So, oh, what a story, though, man. But the retaliation would just be so bad. Terry, thanks for the 25 there for you to treat the girls and yourself. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, Terry. Sofa King, thanks for the 3 there. Lipstick money, like breadsticks, but the paid version. It's like breadsticks, but you get to wear them. There you go. Thank you. I do like that. If you don't know that joke, you know, Sofa King, what? Say those really fast together again. That reminds me so much of the Aqua Teens. White Line, thanks for the 2. Just because it pisses them off. I love the show. Thank you, White Line. That is much appreciated. Janice, thanks for the 20 there. Hello, Tug and Megan. Sorry I'm late. It's for your beautiful and sweet girls. Thank you. Thank you. I'll use that for them for sure, and I appreciate it. Just Jay, thanks for the 5. Well, I think Lips is pretty smart. He says she's just playing with her food by putting out awful filings. You'll find out soon what you're up against. Oh man, I'm shaking, Trey. I am shaking. Emma, thanks for the 2 there. Sorry the Stains are doing this to you and the girls. Thank you, Emma. That's what they do. It is. It's what they do. You know. Tease T, thanks for the 50 there. With all the bad today, my little Hershey is 11. Yes, the Muppet Pup. Oh, that's cute. Let me give him a little dance there. Let's give him a sombrero dance. Happy birthday to Hershey from all of us to you. Happy birthday. Yeah. May all those dreams come true. Oh, man, that is awesome. That is awesome. Props to him. Love there. That's cool though, Tease T. I love it. Like I love how those birthdays too for all of our families, and that I've got my mom has now. She is some of our like oldest pets. We had one that just got to an age, and recently, but got another one, old and much loved. So I appreciate other people that feel like that too. Janice, thanks for the 10 there. I'm living on behalf that someone, CBS, they call CBS, Bet You Love the Girls, but the ecosystem is fine with HD living in a hot shed in a dump with a song and yeah, they, well, it's fascinating to me that these are the same people that raised how much money? And yet, let's see. Man, my phone is, gosh. Let's see. I got the Rebel Bird Raya noted. Oh, it's not her birthday. She just loves the song. So Raya asked for, I thought it was your birthday. Well, I'm glad you love the song. I still love playing it for you. Donna, thanks for the find there. Breaks my heart to think what your kids will go through tomorrow. Money for the candy run afterwards. Well, thank you. That's much appreciated. Bug Naked, nice for the 10. The report isn't done for love or concern. Their action will result in a permanent memory log, yes, in Bug's mind. Revisit them for years from now. A report like that is evil. Yes, that is evil people doing evil deeds. That's what they do, man. That is what they do. That's what a foul people do. Letting you know, by the way, Puzzle Puzzler, it's not my birthday today. Well, hey, let's give you a happy unbirthday song. How's that sound? Oh, happy unbirthday from all of us to you. Happy unbirthday. May all your dreams come true. Appreciate you. Diane, thanks for the 5 there. Tiny Things for the turtle game with the doll. Yeah, I got I did get a kit and all that. Yes, I definitely did get. And thank you too. Like I said, I will organize everything. I also I got like a little trailer with a truck pulling it, which was cool. Like a little kit where you can put up like some fake walls. I thought that was fun because I can put up a barn door and just all kinds of stuff. Iowa Gal, thanks for the 5. I love the tug, mods, tugs, and the tuglets. Thank you. That is much appreciated, Iowa Gal. And let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Let me go through here. I think I got everybody. I don't see anybody I missed. Let me just make sure before I end this that I didn't miss anything. And I'll let you know what's what tomorrow. But I appreciate y'all. Rebel, that's so funny. That is funny. Hey, you got your song there. Wouldn't you like to know? So, happy birthday to Mom. Happy birthday to Mom there for sure. Ruth, hello from Iowa. Well, hello back to you. Appreciate you. And yeah, we're going to call it. We've been on for a while. So I appreciate you folks. We've been on 3.5 hours. That's a long time. I thank you all for that stick through it. Actually, 1,500 of you are still around. That is amazing. Appreciate you all despite all the interruptions and stuff. And it'll be a better one tomorrow for sure. Appreciate you. See you.